Well, we're live. Still getting used to this.
We are.
So, good evening. Good evening. Do you remember the episode of, I was talking about it to some people the other day, the episode of Only Fools and Horses, where they've got the blow-up dolls? And
I'm not sure.
No, where they've got these dodgy blow-up dolls. Well, from China, and they're self-inflated, and they're all going off in his flat.
Yeah.
Right? And he's got a couple of them. He's got a black one and a white one, and he's walking down, and he's got them in his mum's old clothes, and they're walking down one of the little sort of alleys in Nelson Mandela House. So the couple goes past them, and they go, "Good evening," and he gets one of their hands and goes, "Good evening."
I think I've only ever seen the episode once, and I can only you had to describe it because I couldn't remember it.
It's brilliant. Yeah, it's brilliant. Oh, it's so good. Yeah, I think they're full up. They've got a load of fucking horrible gas inside them or something. You know, some really high explosive gas. Oh, it's fantastic. Yeah. So you've only seen that one once, but like, I guess there's probably some I've only ever seen once actually. I know some people who watch them like on the regular. Yeah. Like they basically watch UK Gold or whatever it's called these days, and they're watched right from the beginning. They watch the whole lot, and then I think they just start them again, and it's just round
and around.
Just to have it again too. So how are you anyway, man?
Yeah, pretty good. I've had barbecue.
Before I knew you were even had what you were having for dinner, I named this stream Kebab Meat Disco.
Is it? But the thing is, right? Okay. I know there's not many people in yet, right? But I need to make a couple of announcements. All right, Toffee, all right, Ams, Ugly Truth. Good to see you people.
Good to see you all. Hello, Ams, our Finnish roving. Toffee, good to see you. Out there, yeah, you can address it because somebody's already addressed it and called you. Right. I wondered where there was someone in one of the chats the other night. Was it you who called yourself Albania?
No, it was Ugly Truth. So it cracked me up. So I nicked the name when I was, and I changed my YouTube handle for a week to Albania. but Toffee, as you're there, mate. Also, I need to address this because on that same stream, Toffee made an accusation that I was a Kurdish pimp, and I'd just like to say. To address this, like we've all had a past, right? And I've grown, right? And
it's all about growing.
So I no longer do these same things that I did when I was in Kurdistan, and so yeah, that was honestly the Ugly Truth and Toffee always just fucking crack me up.
Oh, fucking! If you have streaky bacon in as well, you'd have the fucking trifecta.
Yeah, I hope so. Those
so
days.
You had kebabs, and I know you've had. I know that because I've seen pictorial evidence. You had chicken sheesh. Is that right? When they're the cubes.
And some.
I'm not a kebab aficionado. I mean, do you know what? I haven't had one for you.
Are you suggesting that I am?
No, but I reckon if we tallied it up, I reckon you've eaten more kebabs than me over the years. Because of your lifestyle and the years you've got on me.
Right, correct. Nicely
correct.
Dug out the hole. But another thing I want to address there, according to the name of this stream,
Evening, Lulu.
I'm being accused of having somebody suggested that I have a Turkish kebab shop in Luton.
Yeah.
And it's not a kebab shop, right? It's a fucking money laundering outfit. Right? So I'm not going to have that.
That's all right. I'll sort it out another time. So I've got my director of cinema coming in telling me that I've got all my banners wrong and everything. I'll work that out. That's not a problem. Don't worry about that.
We are quite big. I've got us on the.
Okay, do you want to go smaller? Hold on. There you go.
Oh, that's better.
How's about that now then?
That's it. That's more like
That's
it.
See, I can do things. I did a thing. Yeah.
Got some instruments and things like this. I'm not even in the studio now, and I'm still surrounded.
I can't remember how I make. How do I make Ragnar a fucking mod? I can't remember how I did it earlier. I'll do that another time as well. At least I've got one. I'm not going to have fucking haters at this level, but like I appreciate everyone who shared the link for me. I know Sensum did, and everything. So I just like I say, this one's going to be a more light-hearted channel.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, hang on a minute, Jack. Right. There's now talking about halal now in the chat. Like, I'm not having that. Right, just to prove.
Is that absolute
yeah, it's almost a mocktail, but it's a wine version of a mocktail.
Fucking mocktail.
I'm not having this.
Who comes up with that gay shit? 3 dots beside my name. 3 little dots. No, it's not that, Rags. I tried that. Don't worry, I'll sort it out there. So so you had chicken sheesh and lamb kofta.
Yeah, and salad. It's pretty healthy. It's what we do. It's what we do in the winter. I've lost a bit of weight.
In the winter?
Months. What
are you doing? What do you mean in the winter? What have you got in a time slip or something?
No, that's what you do in the summer, but in the winter, do something else.
Well, it's more comfort food for me in the winter.
Yeah,
I like stews and
big casseroles, stuff like that. Yeah. Loads of lentils, loads of meat, some vegetables. Just make it big. We do a thing called magic soup. Make a massive great big vat of it. Lasts all week. Really healthy. If you just have that, I'm trying to cut out the carbs. A little bit of potato in it, because I do like a bit of potato, but that's the only carbs really. And so I managed to lose a little bit of weight over the winter. And so
normally you usually especially being the ethnicity we're like predestined to put weight on over the winter because of abundance and scarcity, right?
Well, exactly. Yeah, your body's designed to or evolved to save that, like the squirrel does with the nuts.
That's what my dad used to say. See, when I was proper young and we were fucking, I was on, like, the family was on the dole and that before my mum went and did her career. Like, he was like, it's either feast or famine here. Do you know what our Sunday roasts used to be growing up? You remember the old Bernard Matthews like joint you used to get?
Yeah.
God knows what it was. It looked like a slice of elephant leg.
Yeah. It was processed anything, wasn't it? It was
turkey, lamb, pork.
It may have come from Suffolk or Norfolk or wherever.
What's that? Mate? What's that? Did you ever used to watch the Alan Partridge Mid Morning Matters where he was on the radio? Where he was on about Bernard Manning? He goes. He was either the purveyor of the worst ornithological holocaust in history, or the greatest man in a farm to fork. What's his name? Steve Coogan, proper lefty.
Steve Coogan. Some of his a genius comedian without a doubt. It's such a shame he's such a lefty cuck.
Most comedians Most comedians are.
I know they are.
I mean, look what's happened. I know he's American, but look what's happened to Bill Burr. He's just gone fucking off the reservation.
He's gone insane. And he wasn't mental. I think it was like severe, TDS.
Got a lot to do with his wife as well.
As what as well?
It's got a lot to do with his wife. He's married to a very. This is a black woman talking. You will listen.
Yeah, but all right, okay.
Yeah,
you don't have to go out. I've had black women. It's
Spinal Cop. Yeah, do you remember that episode of I'm Alan Partridge where he's got Chris Morris on as a farmer?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he goes, "You feed beef burgers to swans." Goes, what's wrong with that? Fat helps them float.
It's honestly some genius stuff. He really did.
Great writing. Alan Partridge was an amalgamation of a guy called Peter Bainham, Steve Coogan, and Armando Iannucci that wrote for that character. Yeah. You make pigs smart. You've got chickens, giant chickens in a barn. You can't even move. They're so big.
It's just fantastic.
Yeah, we'll have to do a comedy stream one night. I've wanted Dangerfield to come on for ages to do the state of British comedy, but he's so hard to pin down.
Yeah, he is.
So maybe we get a bit of a panel, and I'll learn how to shut up, and we can pass the thing round. And like, I just want to know from we went from such great. I know we had the big sort of like, you had comedy that was very family friendly up to the sort of 80s, and then you got like all like the alternatives, so all like comic strip and all stuff your mum suddenly didn't like. You weren't all sit around watching the Two Ronnies and everyone in the family was laughing. It was just you because it was so irreverent and out there,
That's right.
The Python Boys were a bit like that as well, weren't they?
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about that on the last stream when we're talking about sort of differences between like the sort of Gen X's with the boomers, and I'm on the cusp.
Yeah.
But definitely, without a doubt, 100% Gen X, because not just the music, the whole sort of culture. Yeah. Done sort of with people talking about before, exactly. But the comedy was one of the big things that was the difference between the boomers, like my two older brothers, and me, because we'd not sort of only had our own music, because new music was coming through all the time, especially in the 70s, 80s, 90s. Then it stopped in the 90s. The new music was coming through all the time. But comedy changed completely. So you went from the sort of Morecambe and Wise. All right, that was a bit your parents' stuff, but the Two Ronnies, some of that sort of everyday stuff that we all kind of liked, just sat around as a family and watched. It was still funny. It's still funny now. But when the comic strip stuff came in, the young ones, that whole sort of alternative genre, that was really for the new generation.
I remember the switch over where stand-up comedians, instead of just being an act in the London Palladium, right, they went on to rock stars and they were doing arenas.
Yeah,
that wasn't a thing before the 90s.
That was not a thing at all before. They were lucky if they sort of had a gig in the theatre, like the Palladium stuff. That was the biggest that a comedian was going to get.
Yeah, Royal Variety.
Yeah, Royal Variety, exactly. Then to go on, more sort of like the 2000s and onwards, to be doing, I mean, we went to see, not Peter Kay. I love Peter Kay. I can't think of his name for a minute. It looks like a Chinese fella, but he's not. Used to love him back then, not so much now. He had his time.
Sort my audio out. Is my audio bad, is it?
Michael McIntyre. Whose audio?
I couldn't stand him.
Yeah, we liked him at the time. We went to see him at some big venue, and it was insane.
He did do that funny bit though. He said when he was pushing his toddler down the street in his pushchair, and he was just starting to learn a few words, and he had like a carton of Ribena or something. And he said he was walking down Golders Green, and he had run out, and he was going, "Jews, no Jews, no Jews."
Yeah, if anyone doesn't know, Golders Green is it's an enclave.
It's in the name. Gold.
Yeah. For me, he one of the ones that really got me sort of early on with Michael McIntyre when he was on about the man jaw.
The man jaw,
because he was really one of the first guys to talk, sort of observational comedy. That was not offensive to anybody. He never swore. He never used a four-letter word, did he? And you talk about the man jaw and stuff that's in the man jaw, and I'd look at Ali, would look at me, and I look at Ali, and you go, "My house is fucking full of man jaws."
That's what they call observational comedy, and I find that funny to a point.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Of course, everyone's got a man jaw. It's got fuses that you don't know whether are blown or not in it. It's got screws that were left over from a flat pack from 8 years ago that you're never going to use. Yeah? Batteries that you don't know whether have got any life in. My dad used to have this little thing. I think his sister got it for him from Avon, and it used to be a little battery tester. They used to put it in and it used to tell you whether it had life in it or not. Amazing. Never ever seen one of them again, actually, to be fair.
No. But I think I've got one in one of these drawers. If you want to
I'll just get my multimeter out.
Hold for a few minutes. I'll try and find it if you want. Not really. But yeah, he was one of the beauty of that kind of comedy was everybody knew about the man jaw. The man jaw existed and everybody had a man jaw, but nobody had mentioned it. Nobody had pointed it out before. So when he did, we're all right. Everybody could just, well, you can relate to it 100%, and that's why.
And I'll tell you what Ricky Gervais made funny, where he took the mickey out of the catchphrase comedy. You know, when he did that series Extras, and it was all about him writing a series and getting his own series. He wanted to do his own thing, not bother than being extra all the time, right? And he got it, didn't he? And it was called When the Whistle Blows, set in a factory. And that's it. That's when you get that amazing line from Keith Chegwin, and he goes, "What's it like at the BBC now then? Still run my queers and Jews." That went out, that went out. Fucking, so it got completely rewritten. All his funny stuff got taken out, but like he hated catchphrase comedy, and it was one of these live filming things, and the front row all had things like garlic bread, computer says no on their t-shirts. Like it was a real dig at that sort of catchphrase comedy, sort of like the real lot of bottom of the barrel stuff,
But Peter Kay, right? Talk about garlic bread. Peter Kay was the absolute comedy king at that observational stuff. To launch a career talking about, a sort of boomer reaction to garlic bread. Was just genius. But he didn't stop there.
A cake of cheese.
Cheese.
Not in my lifetime.
Yeah, he's fantastic in everything that he did. I have to say,
the first thing he did that really made me laugh was when he came on stage with the Walkman and he was doing the misheard lyrics.
Mate, look, we watched that many times. There's loads of them, but one of my favourite ones is the song "We Are Family." And it says, there's a line in it. It says, "Let me tell you now, we give in love in a femidom."
Yeah.
Right. In the soul funk band that I play in.
Yeah.
That girl
used to sing that line on purpose.
She sings that line every night, every time.
Yeah.
We're giving love in a femidom. Just from that. Right, there's only so many times you can hear it. Is it still funny?
Bob Dylan, the ants are my friends.
I mean, my whole sort of music career has been. It's all right. Peel the skin of your tangerine. Yeah. I was never really right. I'll just very quickly try and spit this out. So when I started playing basses, it was about 14 or 15 or whatever. I never really listened to lyrics too much. I was really into the sort of the bass and the drums aspects of it.
Rhythm section, coming on strong.
Yeah, exactly. And it wasn't until I had part ownership in a recording studio, and I was just doing a shift in there while someone was rehearsing, that this singer-songwriter come in, and his lyrics were phenomenal. And it was like, wow, I've never sort of listened to lyrics before. And I it took that to get me into it. And I ended up doing that project, doing that band, just because I love the guy's lyrics. And I've never listened to lyrics before. And this of course...
Not even when you were listening to music growing up.
Yeah, I didn't really like... it's a bit of an admission here. I didn't really like music when I was growing up. When I was a kid. I thought it was cringe. Yeah, seriously, yeah. Yeah, I hated it.
You're not pulling my chain?
No, I'm not. there's been many points. You know, when you heard of like imposter syndrome, there's been points in my life where I've said to myself,
"The fuck am I doing now?"
Sort of person that should be a musician. And honestly, have.
So what did you grow into it, or was it just hiding?
I think I had to find the right thing. This is right. Let me quickly tell you this, because
go for it.
So you've got to go back to the like mid 1970s. I would have been 12, 13, something like that. There was a lot of glam rock and stuff that would be on top of the pops. Gary Glitter, all that kind of thing. Now, I hated it. I hated Jimmy Savile. I just thought, I'm not just saying this now because of
maybe
what's
you just hated paedophiles. I'm just saying.
Yeah, well, it could be that. It could be connection.
Which is no bad thing, no bad trait to have.
No, but I'm not making out that I kind of thought these people were creepy before. But so, where was I? Yeah, so I would watch Top of the Pops, and I just thought there's something cringe about this. I don't like. I don't like it. I don't like music. Don't like music. It's just, and it'd just be shit pop on the radio when Mum would have on. Of course, there would be some good tracks, but I do remember, and this will fly in the face of what I've just said. But one of the first records or first single on vinyl that I ever bought as a kid, 13 or 14. And this is going to blow everyone's mind because you're thinking, hang on, you just said you hated all that fucking weird shit. Was Sparks, This Town Ain't Big Enough for the Both of Us.
I love Sparks.
Man. And when I probably saw that, and I just thought, whoa, this is weird beyond Gary Glitter and Jimmy Savile.
Yeah. They were very avant-garde.
I like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it had a fantastic arrangement, and it had this sort of drama to the record. And I thought, I love this. And I think that was the first record I ever bought, maybe at 14 years old or something like that. And I did like the lyrics to it. But like I say, it wasn't until about 7 years later I started working with a really, really good songwriter. I started paying attention to song lyrics. But getting back to the whole thing with the Peter Kay, by then, I'd already misheard every lyric you could think of because I hadn't been taking in the lyrics and thinking about them in their context and how one line went into another. I would just hear a line and just thought that's what it was because that's how it sounded to me. So the Peter Kay thing with all the misheard lyrics, that was my life. For about 30 years, you know, there's so many of them. I'm really trying to think of them. There's an NXS song called Suicide Blonde, right?
Is that down?
At the time, is
it that one? Yeah?
Zoe Wanamaker was it was on a lot of TV programs at the time. It's in the 90s.
Yeah. She was quite a milfy right up until she was in that thing with Robert Lindsay.
Yeah, she was all right. But the thing was, I thought the lyrics were Zoe Wanamaker, a suicide blonde. Right? I was convinced. Zoe Wanamaker. There's another one. Zoe Wanamaker, suicide blonde. It's just when I hear it now, I know
it's a fantastic riff as well by that is on that.
Yeah, NXS were fantastic. They really were good.
If only you didn't like the old Asphyxie Wanks.
Well, the old Asphyxie Wanks. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
lost a few to that, haven't we?
Yeah. Me and you are both still here, but you know. Yeah.
I've got a sort of a dead man switch. do you remember Ricky Gervais talking comedy? I think it was on.
You man, we privately about that. So
it was for. If you want the trick, I've got it for you. Ricky Gervais did a thing. He goes. You know, the people who are into those Asphyxie Wanks. He goes, do you remember the Reading MP, Conservative MP, Stephen Milligan? He goes, he was into that, and he was found on the back of his bedroom door, hanging in stockings and suspenders with an amyl nitrate laced orange in his mouth. He goes, if that's your thing, that's your thing. He goes, but at least let one person know it is. So if they don't hear from you in 24 hours, they can come round, cut you down, put you in some trousers, throw the orange out the window. and just make it look like a hanging.
Exactly. You should really let someone know if that's your thing.
What you should do, was it David Carradine, wasn't it, from Kung Fu as well? I think he died doing that in the wardrobe, didn't he?
Yeah. No,
yeah, I mean, I don't know what pushes you to that level, like turning the gas off just to come.
No. But apparently, it's like nothing else. But I'm quite happy to take those who have done it, their word for it, and survived. Anyway.
Yeah. Do you remember that story about the old MI5 guy who they found fucking in the North Face bag? In a padlocked, the big fucking holdalls.
Yeah, North Face.
Like ski holdalls, and they obviously think he was murdered, but they were trying to prove that he killed himself, and then by locking himself in this bag. And I remember reading the court proceedings, and one of the guys was trying to do it to prove that you could lock yourself in one of these bags and then put yourself in the bath.
Was he successful in proving it?
I don't know, mate. Fucking good luck to him if he was as well. You know what one of my first records was? Just talking about it was the picture disc, right, of Bad Manners. And that tune, I love that tune. It slows right down before then it goes all proper scarry at the end. Fucking great tune that was. And on the flip side, it was Ivor the Engine.
Jeez, look, you must have been about 5 when that came out, surely.
Yeah, but the thing is, my dad was a musician / record collector his entire life. So cool. We'd moved out of London by then, but we used to go there at least every other weekend. And we'd be all around Soho and Greenwich and all the markets when you had these beautiful, I can still smell it now, when you get a smell that invokes a memory, record shop, the smell of a record shop. So my dad would be looking through all the albums and that, right? And he'd chuck me a nicker and he'd go, here you go. And they used to be 10 pence a 7-inch or 11 for £1. And so mine was just job lot. I like to look at that. I like to look at that. I wish I still had crates and crates. You're lucky. At the age of 5, I had a record player that you could stack 10 7-inch vinyls on, and it would play one, and then the needle would come back, drop the next one down, and then so I was doing fucking kebab meat discos by the time I was 5 anyway.
You were a little future DJ, weren't you?
Well, I became a DJ.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, became a DJ / producer. Thank you.
Producer, yeah.
You button pusher. So we were going to do we're half hour in now, so should we move on to what we were going to talk about?
Yeah,
we can go off on tangents, it doesn't matter. It's not one of those streams, it's not strict, it's not regimented.
Listen, I caught last night's stream with JP and Mousecat, so I know about tangents.
Oh yes. The thing is, in a tangent, we can go off in a tangent that eventually goes off to another tangent.
And it comes back full circle, doesn't it, in the end?
You've got it.
It was expertly
just like sacred geometry. So we were going to talk a little bit about films and biopics that feature musicians / bands. What are you laughing at?
I'm looking at look, if you see me laughing, it's because I've got Ugly Truth and Toffee. But Blogs is in now as well, so it's probably going to be something to do with something that's I can see in the chat on the other screen. Yeah,
no worries, man. Good. I love our crowd. I hope to get some bigger numbers. Once I can push the channel a bit more.
How many's in now? Oh, yeah, okay, man. Listen, I'll tell you what. I was just thinking. Sorry, before you move on. I was just thinking the other day that nobody's, not that I know, nobody's doing anything midweek anymore.
No, not after poor old John Davison gone rest his soul.
Right, exactly.
No, you've got Dave, Waffle House.
Yeah.
He does Monday to Friday, I believe.
He does, yeah.
I wouldn't say he's strictly in our orbit, but he's definitely sort of in our, definitely around us somewhere. Okay, so
But
we were going to talk about biopics and films, specifically that were about musicians, artists, bands, etc., etc. Not about film scores, except you wanted to go off on a tangent straight away, and we'll do that first if you want, because you wanted to talk about the music of Tarantino.
Yeah, we did. But it was only because when you were talking about it on stream yesterday, you were talking about some of the music from
surf music.
Yeah, what? It's one of my favourite films. What's it called? Pulp Fiction, right?
Yeah.
So at the time, what was going on a sort of live band scene at the time, because of films like The Commitments, films like The Blues Brothers, there was a whole
I didn't write down, you know. Why didn't I write that down? I've got The Commitments.
Right. Well, The Blues Brothers wasn't really about any one person, was it? It was just like a review of that, sort of an 80s review of that 60s sort of soul stuff, wasn't it? But so there are lots of bands were sort of basing themselves around, right, we're going to be a Commitments on Blues Brothers band. And I was in a few of those, and they did well, and they still continue to do well, just like the bands that do the ska stuff. It's timeless music, or if you do the disco stuff, it's timeless music. It doesn't seem to be a point where people think, fucking hell, this is music from the 60s or 70s. I don't want to listen to that. People do, everybody does, blah, blah, blah. But after what was the film before Pulp Fiction? Reservoir Dogs.
Reservoir Dogs,
Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, I think Jackie Brown. Then you had the two
he reckons he's doing 10 films and calling it a day, right?
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
And I believe, was it the one about Hollywood he did last, or was it the Hateful Eight he did last?
The last one I saw was Hateful Eight.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Now, I don't know if I've seen it. Anyway, but they're a little bit irrelevant because this idea was going back. It's still something that could be done, but this idea that I had was going back to sort of like the mid-90s, something like that, late 90s, early 2000s, probably after whenever Kill Bill come out, or the two Kill Bills.
Which he classes as one film, by the way, so he's giving himself an out there, by the way.
Exactly. But, yeah, it would be on one film. But what I want to do, because he was so, I know again, right, he's another lefty cut, but the music.
Go on, I'll let you get away with that one.
But he was fantastic at finding great music to put in movies. Some of it was obscure, and some of it was, we know that Son of a Preacher Man. That was not an obscure song. But how
was
brilliant
it an obscure version though? The Dusty Springfield, wasn't it? That's the main version, is it?
That was the version. It probably hadn't been heard for a while, but it was just one of those songs. Urge Overkill, Girl, You'll Be a Woman.
You'll be a woman. That's a fucking amazing track.
Songs. One of my
brilliant track.
It sounded like an old track, but I don't think it was. So it sounded like it came from the same sort of era as Dusty Springfield, and someone might.
That's when she's about to do the line of fucking.
China
White, isn't it?
Coke, not Coke. Yeah.
Yeah, the exactly. Burmese number 4.
Exactly. And so, yeah.
I'll tell you what. If you've never done fucking that before and you did a blast of that, you would be acting like that as well.
No, I've only chased a bit of brown. No, I've not.
Where'd you chase her? Up to Amsterdam and back. That's an admit. Listen, I can clip that out if you want.
Yeah, we can do it. Listen, I've been around, all right?
Yes, Charlie, we're talking movies, my darling.
Yeah. Anyway, getting back to so I had this idea that I was trying to pitch to certain musicians that were in the thing, sort of in the circuit at the time that were playing all the good venues. That I wanted to put a Tarantino band together. Just call it Tarantino, whatever.
The Tarantino experience.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. Anything like that.
The different styles as well you'd have gone through.
Yeah, exactly. And just playing the music. because he resurrected so much stuff. Yeah, and everything that was in any of his films up to Kill Bill and beyond became, everybody just knew it.
I didn't like a lot of tunes that he sort of made famous from famous scenes have a resurgence and hit number one. A bit like when every Levi advert went to number one. Do you remember that?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and you got that Marky Wahlberg or
whatever it was. Stiltskin inside.
Yeah, it's good.
And that Babylon Zoo, Spaceman, and the only good bit about it was the bit you heard in the advert. The rest was all like sort of like hippie fucking.
It's a bit like that. You ever see Stephen Crowder, and at the start of the Stephen Crowder streams, he always plays that. I'm an animal, something animal.
Strange animal. Stay there.
Love that tune. Love that tune. Then you Google it, and it's you Google it, and all it is a bit of a chorus. Fantastic.
Yeah, it's by a producer called Pogo.
Right. Okay.
He's very good at cutting up samples, really, really finely chopped samples.
Yeah. But I think it's one of those ones that it's just a great hook. When it's saying, I'm a strange animal, you're a strange waffle, whichever way around it is. The rest of the track is not all that, but he's like got that hook and put that on his intro, and it's been, I fucking love that tune.
Have you seen some of the parodies Stephen Crowder's done?
No.
Young man, take a look. He done like Biden. Young man, take a look at my life. They're brilliant. Some of them are brilliant. Now, he's not everyone's cup of tea. I don't watch him anymore because he's not on YouTube. It doesn't stream to YouTube now.
No, and
Rumble.
That's right. And for the last 2 years, he did. Whenever he's going to say anything a bit edgy, he's absolute Zionist apologizer. Yeah, and the guy is a tool as well. But anyway, quickly, just let me finish this story. That didn't happen. That I wanted to put this band together, and just have all the Tarantino tracks from all the big movies, and just play all the Tarantino stuff.
That would still work.
It would still work, but nobody.
Maybe you've missed the golden period.
Yeah, I think the golden period would have been the Reservoir Dogs and the Pulp Fiction, the Jackie Browns and Kill Bill sort of era, wouldn't it? I'll have to check out that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I'm not sure if I've seen it.
Did you see The Hateful Eight?
I've seen The Hateful Eight once.
It's only got about three different scenes, three different sort of locations. It's because I love dialogue heavy film, especially Tarantino.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, real good dialogue. Like and I think he's actually an underrated actor. He's not the best, but his role he plays in Pulp Fiction. He goes,
I like him.
He goes, did you see a sign on my lawn that said dead storage? He goes, no, you didn't. You know why? Because storing dead is not my business.
Yeah. that was brilliant, But it's like he got the hard pass because his wife was the nurse.
There was that meme, wasn't it? When female directors insert themselves into their own movies, and it's all soppy bollocks and that. And then it was like when male directors insert them, and it was like three different directors that had given themselves parts, and they're all saying the hard R.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. You think you get away with it because his missus is of that. Sorry.
What Tarantino's missus is?
No, but in that film, when Bonnie comes home,
right?
She's a nurse.
That's right. Yeah.
So that's what's giving him.
And Harvey Keitel as well as the wolf is just.
Yeah, he's brilliant. That's absolutely genius character. If he made that character so good that it's almost now. If we want to describe someone who cleans up and comes and sort out
a fixer,
the fixer, you say a wolf character, the wolf character, and it's from that film, just classic. But anyway,
you know, you were saying that
watching
though. The Tarantino experience would work now. Toffee mentioned earlier that one of his favourite films Tarantino wrote, but he never directed, and I agree, is True Romance. That is a fantastic film. And what happened to Christian Slater? Because he was such a good actor. Robin Hood, when he played Will Scarlet. He played the main guy in True Romance up against Gary Oldman as Drexel, the sort of white guy with dreads.
Gary Oldman's brilliant.
Gary Oldman's fantastic as well.
One of my favourite, probably my favourite British actor.
Do you know what Gary Newman became when he grew up? Gary Oldman. It's a dad joke for you.
Ugly truth.
Talking of Gary Newman and bass. Music for Chameleons. Can you play it?
Oh, yeah. Alan Partridge.
Yeah. When Alan Partridge is fucking playing it on his outside his fucking caravan. Go on, give us a lick.
I'm not going to play that now. Palladino on Fretless Bass. I think it's one of those tracks that as soon as you hear it, you know that's Pino Palladino. But I just love the way that Alan Partridge tracked it. He knew that bass part was coming, walks through the door.
Yeah.
Mimes
it's the mouth, isn't it?
Yeah. Absolutely.
I'll tell you another funny part is where he takes Lynn to go and visit his mother's grave, and he's sat in the car air drumming.
What's a cunt?
Yeah, oh god, he's so self-unaware, wasn't he?
He was.
Yeah, Ugly Truth says "Stuck in the Middle with You," wasn't it? Obviously with Reservoir Dogs, Michael Madsen.
Yeah, that
slicing his ears off.
Slice his ears off. Whenever you hear that song, and I have played that song.
Is that Steelers Will?
Steelers, yeah.
Yeah.
That's right, Steelers Will, and you just think of that scene whenever you play it. You just, and I think that since that, everybody just thinks of having your ears sliced off with
ruthlessly and unrelenting.
Wasn't it? Yeah, evil.
But do you remember True Romance? It was full of fucking. They've got that amazing scene where James Gandolfini, who went on to become Tony Soprano, is fighting Patricia Arquette. Like, that scene, that's so intense. And then you've got the bit with Dennis Hopper and Christopher Walken, with and he goes, your great grandmother. It's so good. Brad Pitt's in it as this like bong smoking fucking roommate.
So I forget about that film. That's a great film.
Yeah,
great film.
Yeah, it's all he nicks a coke, didn't he, off Drexel. And he's got to try and sell it. Yeah, he work at a comic book shop, didn't he? I think, or something. That's how it starts.
I can't remember. I'm terrible remembering detail, but that's another great film. Yeah.
And Toffee knows this because I've confided it in him. Right, since I've been off the old weed, which is coming up 2 months now. Yeah, I was really kind of getting worried about my memory. Like I just couldn't recall stuff, but it's sort of all coming back.
Oh, good. Yeah.
So, I don't think I'd go back to it now. Not after 2 months. Doesn't make sense.
Especially
fucking eggplant. That makes you half eggplant.
If you're feeling your head clearer and your memory coming back, especially your sort of short-term memory coming back, then definitely knock it. I pretty much knocked it. I started when I was. It
wasn't by choice. It was forced upon me because I can't get any.
No,
I probably could, but I'm not fucking curb crawling for fucking weed.
You have to go around every pub and say, "Is anybody?"
Not up here, mate. Not up here. Not UVF and UDA still run the estates. You've got great. I go down. I had to go to the job centre today. I go past an estate called the Glebe Estate, and it's got a great big fucking sign up on one of the end houses, like drugs destroy communities. They police it themselves. Yeah. And you've seen the footage of them when they've got a heroin dealer with the fucking sandwich board on. I'm a fucking dirty heroin, then they march them down the high street.
Yeah, no, it's true. I think, look, you know, I'm not going to get too much into the weed thing, but we know it's not addictive as a drug as such. But
I'd say it is.
It's habit forming. I think, yeah.
Habit forming, yeah.
I think it is because it's habit forming.
Look, I used to get home from work, give the missus a kiss, and go, "Where's the box?" Because inevitably she'd have used it. "Where's the box?" Every day. "Where's the box?" First thing I did, come home, before I even made a cup of tea, roll myself a big fat bifter, as they say.
Yeah, up to about the age of 21, I would wake up in the morning. I wasn't working, so I was going to be a pro musician, so I wasn't looking for work or anything like that. I'd wake up in the morning, have my tin, a little black ebony pipe, and I'd have a bit of black, something in there, and I'd have a blast on the little pipe, little chillum, remember little chillums?
Yeah, little chillum.
I'd have a blast on that before getting out of bed, mate. And I sort of realised that my short-term memory was going, and I've been smoking from the age of 15 to about 21. So
13 to 43 to me, 30 years.
Right, but the thing is that's an important time for development to your brain at those young ages, because your brain's not developed till about 25.
25.
Yeah, and I really noticed that my memory was going, and to notice that it's just a youth, really. And everybody that I knew, all my friends, literally everybody I knew was puffing. Everybody puffed. Everybody did acid. Yeah. There wasn't much Charlie around back those days. Not right back then, and nobody could afford it anyway.
No.
But so everyone was just puffing all the time, and I was just one of the first people. Squidgy black, yeah, squidgy black life's better. Yeah, definitely a lot of squidgy black around then. And
old red lead.
Yeah, red, yeah, BT, tons of that. And I just said to him, "I'm not going to smoke anymore." And also I was starting to get a little bit of paranoia as well, so I wasn't getting no giggly, hit off of it. And I said,
"That was always my problem."
Yeah,
ever suffer from paranoia.
Right,
or not.
No, it's I'll tell you, it's fucking horrible, because you be, yeah, fraud again. Is this the best thing you should be doing in your life right now? What? Are you making the best choices in your life right now? What you saying? What you saying? And it was all this it's all instant self-doubt about everything. It's like, are you going to make it as a musician? Are you a good enough bass player? Fuck off. It's like, leave me alone. So I knew exactly what was causing it, and I just knocked it on the head.
Yeah.
And I just think the rest of my friends from that sort of school leaving age, and those people all went to college, and all the friends that I made from their friends that went to college. So I never did. I was much like you. I didn't really go to school much in the last 2 years.
I fucked it off at the age of 14. I was like, I'm not learning A, anything I want to learn, and B, I can't, because the classroom's full of disruptive cunts. And every 5 minutes we've got to stop, and there's got to be a dispute settled or some sort of incidents happen,
School was pathetic.
The thing is, I've never been I think men and women, boys and girls, learn so differently. Girls are quite happy. They go, right, turn your textbooks to page 17 and copy out the first 3 paragraphs. They love it. They're doing their lovely loopy handwriting and everything. I'm like, what the fuck? I want to be twisting and fixing and pushing that. Does that fit in there? How am I going to get that to work?
You want to be in metalwork, in woodwork, doing sports, playing football.
Yeah.
Doing something, not looking at logarithms and
a copy of on the overhead projector.
Yeah, and English and stuff like that. I just never took none of that. I had nothing. I didn't take any exams. I didn't even go to exams. I was the same as you, mate. I just left school.
I took exams, but I had to do them in isolation. I had to go into this special building to do mine on my own, and I only did 4: English Lit, English Language, which I passed language at C, because I could spell, I could write neatly and everything like that. And I was from the moment I could read. Do you remember the moment in your life you went from reading out loud to all of a sudden just reading in your head?
Having it in a monologue.
In a monologue, yeah.
I
kind of remember being about 4 or 5 and my dad saying to me, read it in your head. I was obviously doing his head in.
Yeah, I think someone's saying to me, I can't remember when it was, and it was like, just in my head. No, I can't concentrate. You know, that'd be the resistance to it. It's like, no, I can't take this in. Just me and the words. Just me and the words. No.
Yeah, me and the words.
Yeah.
Like, when I got my own bedroom and that, right, and first thing that my dad did was put a light up on the wall next to me with a little pull down thingy, because my mum every night would come and make sure I was all right, and sort of you turn the light out, and my book I'd be asleep with a book over my face. I read and I read anything, and I loved Enid Blyton as well, and it turns out she was based.
Right, yeah.
There's something.
I found that out.
Yeah.
I didn't read any Enid Blyton, I'm afraid. But
so I loved all her stuff. You know, it was the age appropriate stuff. So I loved all her stuff, like the Faraway Tree and all stuff like that. And then when she started doing like the Famous Five, I sort of stepped up with it, like, you know.
Right.
Yeah, it's good for the imagination. Theatre of the mind, which is why I listen to a lot of I listen to a lot of my content like podcasts rather than visually, you see.
Yeah, I do completely. I rarely watch. I'll always have usually one earbud in.
The trouble is, I haven't read anything other than a Viz annual for a couple of years because of these. My eyeballs have gone. I have to wear these fucking readers. I really do need to get my shit sorted and get some proper. Are they readers or?
Yeah, they're readers from a supermarket, mate.
Yeah, £1.50 or £3 £3. Yeah, but these are probably doing me worse than having a proper prescription.
Yeah, I know. But the point is,
if I look now, I can't read anything on that screen, and I'm only a foot and a half away. Nothing. I have to go back in.
I'm still better off. I'm still better off without them. So I've got this laptop here.
Yeah.
And I've got the screen with all the chat up. And I can see
I do need to. What I do is I've only got a very small laptop screen, one of these HP Spectres. I do need to get a bigger screen. That would probably help as well.
Yeah, man. You can just pick one up so cheap, you know. Just you know, probably fucking got free in the.
I've actually got one at the ex's house, but she's playing hardball at the moment. So, and she's got some stuff of my father's that I want back too. But yeah,
Louise is asking, do you listen to audiobooks?
Not really. They're not my thing.
I tried, and I struggled with audiobooks.
Yeah, I have to read stuff. I can listen to non-fiction.
Ah.
I can listen to like podcasts. If I subscribe to a couple of World War I podcasts, a couple of World War II podcasts, I can listen to that. But I've never listened to an audiobook. I don't think. No, I haven't. No.
I tried because I used to read a lot of science stuff, a lot of physics, cosmology, that kind of stuff, also non-fiction, and it just didn't work for me when someone was reading it, because if I would read something about, you know, superstring theory or something like that, I'd have to read a line maybe 3 or 4 times.
I remember trying to read Bill Bryson's The Short History of Nearly Everything.
Yeah.
When in the first chapter he tries to explain to you in layman's terms how the universe came from nothing.
Yeah, singularity.
And I read that paragraph about 8 times, and none of it sunk in. It was so above my pay grade.
Yeah, well, I must have read about 4 or 5 books.
And it wasn't a big bang; it was an expansion. It didn't go.
Yeah, that's right.
It just went, and it was in existence.
Yeah.
It's like my brain goes fuck off.
I probably read 3 or 4, 5 books just on those same subjects. So I thought, right, if I read this other.
Yes, Lumi, I am going to read your books before you come on.
Yeah, I thought if I read his book on it and listen to his explanation of it, then maybe I'll get it. Then I think I'll get it a little bit more. Then I read another book with someone else. I can't remember. They're all on my.
I've got 14 in the chat. Point to that number.
Yes, 14. Yeah. You're waiting. There were 15. You're waiting for it to go down, weren't you?
No, 16.
16, exactly.
Do you know what though? I've got to go for a piddle, and I've got no interlude. Do you want to go off screen for a minute, or are you happy to hold forth?
I wouldn't mind having 2 puffs. If everyone's called to just hang about,
just give us a minute. Just give us 90 seconds. I need to go and drain my main vein, and then we'll be straight back. This is a brief musical interlude.
Right, I'm back anyway. Let's have a quick look what's going on in the chat. Yeah, Louise, thank you. Smash the like button.
Yes, tickle the like. Right. Let's juice the algo. What do I do with my glasses? That's like my dad. My dad, right? My dad would have readers in the end. He had his cataracts done, right? So he only needed readers, and he'd come into the front room, right? And he'd be swearing and all frustrated and that, and he'd be like, "I can't find my fucking glasses," and he'd have 2 pairs on the top of his head. Looking for the remote control, and it's in his hand.
We were talking about this before we went live, weren't we? About the noises that you make. You get to a certain age, and you make that sort of man noise when you get up off a chair or so.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. It's like something. Oh, where we fucking.
My old man got so bad, right? My old man suffered from chronic back pain. He died at 75, a couple of weeks shy of his 76th birthday, and he'd get up out of his chair, right, and he'd take a couple of waddles, and he'd go. he fucking sounded like he was treading on a duck. I've got that to come.
I'll let you know when that happens. I'm not there yet. Yeah.
I can go quick, Toffee. My prostate's. I think I've got a healthy prostate because I've still got good pressure. I've taken certain MDMA is the one where it's like, are you ever going to come out? In the end, you end up sitting on the toilet like a fairy. Please, can I wee?
Oh no!
I don't know what it does to your like the brain bladder.
Yeah,
message. No. But it's like I know I've got a bladder full of piss, but it's not coming out for love nor money.
No, that must be horrible. No, I've got no issues like that. But I know that you and Rags do sort of massage each other's prostates, don't you? So it's
you had to spoil the show, didn't you?
You got to do what help a mate out.
A friend in need is a friend indeed, huh? A friend with weed is better. Do you used to like Placebo?
Do you know, I only remember Nancy Boy.
That's a great tune. Alcoholic kind of mood.
Great tune. I played it loads of times. And it was only the other day that I heard another Placebo tune, which I think was a cover. And I thought, do you know what? This is the only other Placebo song I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, I thought it was a good band.
Yeah. Oh, it's such a unique voice that guy's got.
Yeah,
In fact,
yeah. Was he in any other bands?
no, I don't know. I just remember when I first heard that, I thought, is that a bird? Or is it
Very,
like,
very high, very falsetto, but a bit
yeah,
like Justin Hawkins.
yeah, but you kind of know, oh, man, we used to do, what was the Darkness song? I
I
think,
believe in a thing called love.
Love, yeah. And Billy, right, from the Clan of Celts. So he was in the covers band. You've heard the story before. We put Clan of Celts together from a covers band that had done for years and years and years. And the guitarist what to do original, So we said, yeah, nobody's written anything, blah blah blah. And but yeah, we were in this covers band called Evil Puppies, and we used to do that song, and he was fucking awesome at it. He could reach some high notes without actually even going falsetto. I think he did, but he wouldn't be like a false falsetto. He could just reach those high notes, no problem at all. And remember the white blonde soul singer girl, Joss Stone.
Yeah,
It was around. Yeah, she was at one of our gigs. We played in Cricklewood. And Joss Stone was there, right at the front of the stage, dancing. She had a fucking beer in her. She was on Saturday. She was a guest on Saturday Kitchen the next day. So she was put up in the Cricklewood Hotel that we were playing at, the big bar underneath, some big sort of Irish bar. And so yeah, I mean, bless her. She was drinking pints on the dance floor. She must be getting up early to do Saturday Kitchen as a guest. And and
she's Devon, isn't she?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so she's up from the West Country,
And she was friends.
That's it. So the Ali, she was watching, going, oh yeah, it's Joss Stone down there, and Joss Stone apparently was going, fucking hell, listen to this bloke, listen to this guy singing this, and he was just, Bill could just rip into those high notes.
He had the range.
He had the range. Incredible range. He could do sort of low down stuff. He didn't have a naturally hot, but he could just go right up there without it sounding falsetto like Justin Hawkins did. He would do it great, but Bill would just be there without changing that timbre of his voice, going from normal voice to nasal voice to falsetto. He'd just go there. It's unbelievable. But yeah, well, Stone was impressed anyway.
Yeah. What was her big track?
I
used to think she was alright. I think she got together with fucking.
Yeah, I haven't heard nothing about her for a good 10 years. She was the latest thing for a while, wasn't she?
Yeah, she's a good looking chick.
Yeah.
She's 38 now.
God, yeah. Well, she must. Right, okay. Well, that must have been a good 12 years ago. That was. So she was a youngster.
She's got a kid called Shackleton. That's quite based.
Oh, yeah. That's a good name.
Yeah, Violet, Shackleton, and Bear. I'm Bear. I'm a bear.
I might have mentioned this puppy that we were trying to get. And we're still on it. Yeah, sort of rescue.
Still on it. So is it still in the refuge or whatever you want to call it?
Yeah, it's at the RSPCA place. She's only probably between 7 or 8 months old, and she hasn't come on her first season yet. So she hasn't been spayed. So when I had to fill out a big long application form for it, email it in.
It's another Malinois.
Yeah, it's a Malinois. Just absolutely gorgeous. Just a beautiful Mallee. She's amazing looking, really cute, and with a troublesome face. She's got one in faces that you're not going to fuck with when she gets older, but very cute at the moment. And because I correctly admitted that our boy is complete. It's a complete dog, He's still
package.
Yeah. So they said, we can't possibly let you have a, because he's not castrated. But, maybe this is wait until she's spayed and all that and blah, blah, blah.
No, but you first on the list.
I think the fuss that we've made, I think we possibly will be. I forgot why I started this. Why I brought it up.
Does she remind you of Joss Stone in any way?
Shooting a Joss Stone.
Is she a good soul singer?
It's got some range on that howl.
Yeah. It all breaks down at the first rehearsal.
Right, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, placebo. A good name for a dog, actually.
Oh, right. Okay. Right. I remember what it was. Got there. So she has a name already. She's been named, right? But we're going to change her name. We've got what our next.
What is her name?
I'm not going to say because I don't want people to go searching.
I know. It's the same word that white woman used in the park, isn't it, in America? Guy Gibson's dog. Right?
well, we've already got our dog Django.
Eva. She's Eva. No, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. But what name? If you can't tell us that, what name will you give her?
Right, this is the name we're going to give her.
Now, bear in mind, if anyone doesn't know, you've got a boy called Django.
We've got a boy called Django, and we're going to call her Lucille. And it's going to be after, the baseball bat from The Walking Dead. It's a baseball bat with barbed wire around it.
Yeah.
It's covered in blood. That is Lucille, the baseball bat.
Right.
So
not after the Chuck Berry song, then?
No. And there is a Frank Zappa
song. Catch you later, Lou. Thanks for joining.
Yeah. Who's that off?
That's Louise Owen. That's our Welsh friend.
Yeah. See you later, Louise. Then when eventually our boy, he's 8, but he's fit as a fiddle, so he's going to be around for a while. But
what's their average age?
About 14, 15. Yeah, they'll last longer than a German Shepherd. Basically, mainly because they're not gonna, or it's far less likely to have problems with their hips.
Dysplasia.
So they're far less prone to hip dysplasia.
Have they got a flat back or a
they've got a flat back. So sort of flat, or if you imagine like a horse, it's flat, then it goes up at the hind a little bit there, and comes down. Built for running, real sort of back end, built for power. Whereas like a German Shepherd, like I said before, they slope down at the back because they were bred that way. Is that due
to human interference? That slope.
Yes,
if you get a proper pedigree Alsatian.
Yeah, if you go to Crufts, right? No, they'll have a slope back. So if you go to Crufts, when they're doing the poses, on the German Shepherd must have that slope back down. So they're bred that their back legs are shorter than their front legs.
Lovely.
Shorter legs than they should have been. Whereas a Mallee, its back legs are longer than its front legs and still like a wolf, where their back is flat and it depends on how they're standing. Their hind quarters will actually go up a little bit. Like if you imagine
the muscle ridge on the hind bit goes up over
like that, So they've got perfect forms, sort of hip and spine, in that pelvic area. So a lot less prone to it. But we're going to name her after a bloody baseball bat with barbed wire around it. Basically, that's
fair enough.
Well, that's what
better choice than anything.
Name for a Belgian Malinois.
Yeah. And how trained is she?
We think this is probably house trained only.
Right.
And we're going to be fairly happy with that because we haven't trained Django to do crazy tricks or anything like that. He's a really, really well balanced dog. He's really well behaved. He'll all basic commands. He's just so intelligent that he just does his own thing anyway, and knows what he should and shouldn't be doing. We're not into training animals, into their life. We're not really into that. They're home pets.
Yeah. You're not military dogs, you know.
All our dogs are own pets. Yeah.
Like personal security. You know that strongman Eddie Hall?
Yeah.
You see that he got one, and it was like it had been trained from a puppy to be a protection dog, like because he gets fucking stalkers and all weirdos around his house, like you know, and he's got young kids. And this thing is just fucking unbelievable. On the commands, just so intelligent.
I would love to have that, but you don't really need to.
No, you don't need it in fucking where you are. You just need him. Do you remember Sick'em Boyo? Do you remember the film Stand By Me where they break into the junkyard?
It just remind me. Probably.
Sick'em. It sold guy who died from a speedball outside the Viper Rooms. River Phoenix, Corey Feldman.
Yeah.
And they're young lads and they're off to find a dead body. It's a real coming of age movie. Like, you know, Sutherland's in it.
I would have seen it. I can't.
Yeah, good film. When they're walking along the train tracks and that, and they've got to go over a bridge, and the train's coming. Yeah, love that film when I was in it. I love that film, wasn't it? Okay. Well, we're an hour and 11 in now.
Yeah, we didn't get to any of the.
Well, if you want to go for a bit longer, I'm happy if you are.
Yeah, I'm all right for another 20 minutes or so. If we want to talk about something.
No worries, mate. No worries. Well, do you want to save this project for another night then?
Yeah, we could do. Yeah, because it's a good one. And send me your list, because we were going to talk about a certain sort of movies about musicians and stuff like that. Which not film scores, because that's its own subject. That's a bit different. I was thinking about that this afternoon after we talked about it. I thought, you know what? And a lot of the ones I was thinking they've been pretty good and not too woke as well. Yeah. And I was trying to think, like Bohemian Rhapsody with that Indian lad playing Freddie Mercury.
Well, wasn't he part Indian, Freddie Mercury?
Yeah, because I thought he was part.
You don't get teeth like that without being part Indian, mate.
Yeah, I think he was sort of part Indian. I just thought he was. Yeah, he was from somewhere like that, wasn't he? Somewhere around there, somewhere like that.
I was listening to a bit of Queen earlier, actually.
Well, I think and I thought that movie would be sort of overly woke with the sort of the gay element, with the diversity element and all that. But I don't particularly remember it being woke. I remember it being a pretty good movie.
I'll tell you what I thought was a good movie. I can't remember the name of it now, but it's the geezer who he's basically like, it's like the Beatles never existed, but he knows all the lyrics to the Beatles songs. Have you seen that one?
Yeah, it wasn't Jim Carrey or something like that, was it?
Oh fuck no! I don't even think I've seen the film. I think I just know of the idea.
Right. So Zanzibar.
Zanzibar.
One of his parents was from Zanzibar.
I'm thinking of Xanadu for some reason.
No, he wasn't. No, Freddie Mercury was not from Xanadu. He might have ended up in Xanadu, but he wasn't.
Oh, she was a salt though back in the day, wasn't she?
Yeah.
You know, like the moral of the story of Greece.
Oh, didn't she? She
died of breast cancer. I think she got over it a couple of times. But the moral of the story of Greece is: don't be bookish, don't be smart, don't be clever. Just be an absolute slut, and you'll get the man you want.
True. Curry eggs.
Curry eggs. It's the curry war at the moment, isn't it? Like, India fired 4 missiles into Pakistan. 3 of them failed, and 1 of them fell in India. Our greatest ally have got the Iron Dome.
Well, yeah.
The Indians have got the Popper Dome.
Build a big one for the States as well. So I missed the line.
The Indians have got the Popper Dome.
Oh no!
I'll tell you what, the Sam Hyde memes are already up as well. You know, like with the Ghost of Kiev.
Oh yeah.
Where it was Sam Hyde. They've got the Ghost of Mumbai now. We've captured a downed pilot, and it's Sam Hyde in like traditional Indian fucking.
I just don't know what's going to come of this.
I know. Apparently, like God knows, you know. Can you imagine what state like to have a nuclear arsenal is all about maintenance, and you can't just be like, oh, right, we built a nuclear bomb, we just put that back there for when we need it, right? It has to, everything has to be. You just can't imagine what fucking might kick off if these two start launching fucking shit nukes at each other.
And they don't really sort of do maintenance neither, do they? It's people that don't really.
No, well, that was the clip that went around this week, wasn't it? And those two Africans couldn't. They were talking to that guy who was a black guy who was more westernized, and he was like, "The problem is," he goes, "in any African language, he goes, there's no word for maintenance or concept of maintenance." He goes, the British have got buildings that are 1,000 years old, still standing. Yeah. Their railways from the 1900s are still working.
Working in India and in African countries, but they'll build a building and have no concept of the fact that it needs to be maintained.
Well, China's the same. Have you seen their buildings literally just crumble?
Yeah, that's it. They'll understand that they'll need to do something when it's crumbled, but they'll have no concept about crumble. If Pakistan nuked a town in India, would you even be able to tell it had been nuked? Would you care?
Like the before and after picture, you'll be like, hang on, this is a trick, right? You're winding me up.
Might be a bit less shit on the streets, mightn't there?
Yeah.
But I'm wondering what sort of ramifications that there are for the UK.
Because our wizened and wise government decided to import two fucking groups that completely have the fucking centuries-old blood feud. You see what they get like when they lose at the cricket.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, in some respects, where I am, like, I think that I'm probably safer than I would be in Leicester or other places like that. Because I mean, where I live, like, it used to be really diverse back in the 70s and 80s, but there's no diversity now in Luton.
It's all Pakistani.
Yeah, because there was Asian. All the Sikhs and the Hindus all went out to places like Milton Keynes, as Milton Keynes was up and coming, sort of new.
Milton Keynes didn't exist after World War II.
Yeah.
Didn't even exist on the map.
No, it was a village. So
was it called Milton Keynes, the village?
Milton Keynes, yeah. And so they're literally, and a lot of big sort of like Japanese and Indian businesses put their sort of European headquarters in Milton Keynes. But basically, there was an Asian flight out of Luton and some of the sort of towns. Yeah, because they want to get away from the Muslims. So they went up to Milton Keynes. So all your Sikhs, there's no Sikhs. There are a few Sikhs still left in Luton, and you'll see them around the pubs, and they're all really good lads. They'll sit there, they have a drink, they're really friendly, they're good lads. So all the Sikhs.
That may as well be right, but they could be Sikh. Still back up where they came from, right?
Well, yeah, but they
go wherever you're from. Fucking amazing. Good luck to you as a nationalist. To another, the Sikhs are apparently very nationalist, aren't they?
Yeah.
Well, go and be a nationalist, and good luck to you. We'll support you as much as we can, not with money, but you know, we'll say nice things about you. You're better than them.
They do like a beer. So
what's the knife they carry, the Sikhs? They've got a knife too, haven't they?
It's a bit like a scout. the Scouts, you remember the little knife you'd have as a cub or a Scout, the little Scout knife.
Yeah, but like, say like you've got the Gurkhas, right? They've got the is it the Kukura or something? The knife. It's the angled knife.
Yeah, I don't know what it's called. Yeah,
I think the Sikh, because our local well, I don't even want to call it a packy shop anymore because he was Sikh. It was our local Sikh shop.
Yeah.
When his dad died, he grew his beard out.
Right.
And that's some sort of thing that they do, apparently.
Yeah. But they're all right, compared to others. They're okay to live around.
If you're talking lesser of however many bloody evils it is now, it's not 2, is it? Then they do keep themselves to themselves. Granted, cookery.
Well, they'll come
cookery.
down the pub. They'll come down the pub and come down and
they love their whiskey.
They love their whiskey. Yeah, well, so do the Indian Hindus as well. But the point is that they're all fucked off out of Luton. So it's basically. I mean, there used to be a lot of Irish, a lot of Scottish. That's one of the reasons that I've ended up here because of my Scottish parents coming down here. Not Turkish, by the way, or Kurdish. I'll have you know. I think I've addressed that already. That's right.
Kate comes in with a great use of the word scimitar. Do you remember the cars? Do you remember the cars? The scimitar cars?
Yeah. A mate of mine had one.
Were they German?
No, they're British.
British. They used to look like a fucking little beast. They did.
Yeah. So because they're made
out of fiberglass. Bring it up.
Yeah, they were made by is it Reliant? The same company that made Reliant, Reliant Robinson.
Yeah, it was the Reliant scimitar. Fuck me, well done, boy.
It was, yeah. They used to like a V6 or Kurdish Owl. It is. All right, Rex. Yeah, I think they had like a Rover V8 engine in or something like that. They were one of the hottest. A bit like had a 3-litre Essex Capri engine. Yeah, yeah, it could be right, Mousecat. I think it was either the.
Let's see if this cut. See if this works.
Capri V6.
Does this work?
Yeah. My mate had one. That was it. Yeah, made it of fiberglass.
Scimitar.
Yeah. It went like
Had a 3-litre Essex Capri engine, apparently.
Yeah. I've got a feeling.
Now, the old fucking Capris, I remember seeing 4.2 Capris. Jesus, fucking, they must have drunk some fuel.
4.2? I know it was a 2.8 and 3-litre.
No, they definitely had a 4 point something.
Was there? I don't know. Mousecat? Mousecat might know about that. I only remember the top of the range Capri, the older ones before the 2.8 injection was the 3-litre. Then they when everything went all fuel injection and everything had an I after it, it was the 2.8 I. Don't admit, you could be right.
The Mercury, 1980 Mercury, 4.2 litre, 8 valve. Look at this. Look at this for a motor. Look at the fucking wonderful aesthetics that we lost. Because cars look fucking dog shit now. If this is going to load. Yeah, there's a red one there. If you want to get the red one to load. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. Right, hold on. Hold your fucking horses. Right, look at this. That's a 4.2 litre Ford Capri.
Oh, wow. Is that from the 70s?
Yeah.
That body styling is like Mark 1, isn't it?
Yeah, look at the tiny little wheels on it.
Yeah.
That's
like 1974 kind of aesthetics. That
I think you've got that. 1971.
71, okay. Yeah, I thought it was early 70s, yeah.
Beautiful though, isn't it?
Yeah, that wasn't a production model though, was it? 4.2.
I don't know, it's a Mercury, it was called.
It must be rare. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, classic cars, yeah, I don't know anymore.
Reminiscent of the Starsky and Hutch car. I know it wasn't a Capri. I can't remember what it was now. I remember the Starsky and Hutch car with a white stripe down it.
Starsky and Hutch car.
I can't remember what that was. Somebody will remember what the Starsky and Hutch car was. But it's got sort of that 70s vibe about it with a colour. 4.2 RS. Wow.
Starsky and Hutch Ford Gran Torino.
That's it, Gran Torino. Yeah.
Yeah, with a white, almost Nike tick on it.
That's it. Yeah. You didn't really see them over here except in car shows where people would paint their Vauxhall Viva and try and do it up as a Torino.
You know what? The first car I remember of my dad's was a green Ford Cortina.
Right.
And it had the leather back seats that was all one seat.
Yeah.
It had no seat belts in the back. And when we go around the roundabout, you go from one side, straight around
the suspension was just like mattress springs in it, wasn't it?
It's fucking, yeah. God, yeah. And I remember my dad having like Opel Mantas as well.
Oh, man, I had one.
Did you have an Opel Manta, did you?
Yeah, I did, yeah. Yeah, white one. No, that was cool. It was a bit souped up at the time. We're talking early 80s, though, for that. But I remember my man having a Vauxhall 101, if anybody remembers that. See if you can pull one of them up, Vauxhall.
I can pull whatever you want up, mate. Don't worry about that. I've got this. Have you ever heard of the internet? No.
Have I ever heard of it?
Yeah, have you ever heard of it? It's this great tool you can use. Vauxhall 101, yeah? Victor?
Yeah. I can pull it up, but I can't. I don't know.
Was it called Victor? 1965.
Vauxhall Victor 101. Yeah. And they're quite often coming two-tone. My man's one was
look at this.
Yellow, blue and dark blue. Two-tone.
Very few left on the road, used for TV series.
Yeah. And that's the earliest car I remember my man having. And that would have been must have been a 60s car, I'm sure.
Yeah, 1965.
Yes.
That one?
My man had one of them, mate. Yeah, 101, Victor 101.
Hello, Woodlander. Good evening, pal.
All right, Simon, how you doing, mate? I was just looking at the.
Sorry, what was your first car, mate? Put in the chat what your first car was.
Are you asking Simon or anyone?
Anyone put it. My first car was. Now I passed my test in 2005, 24. The reason I left it so late was because I could have passed my test at 17, right? Because I was fucking off my chops and off my tits. I actually was sensible enough to be like, I'll let people drive me around for a while.
Mate, we didn't worry about that. We didn't worry about that back in the 80s.
Oh, mate, I used to.
It was perfectly legal.
Mate, I used to drive back. I used to drive myself back from raves, right? I'd have had about 4 or 5 fucking E's, a few pints, not too drunk, right? But and I'd think I was in one of them fucking games. You know, remember them things you used to put up to your head? And I was in one of them.
I've driven these up, man. It's fucking mad. It is mad. I'm not. It's dangerous.
I've been a passenger in a car before, right? Where I've come to in the front passenger seat and everyone's asleep.
Right.
Going on the fucking rumble strips. No. Everyone's asleep. The driver's just.
I've got to tell you about. We used to have. Ali used to have. Do you remember the
Renault 5s? They were some car. They were proper boy racers car. They were around my way.
Now you remember the Toyota MR2 with the pop-up headlights?
Yeah, I used to love them. The aesthetics of them were lovely. I'm just going to look up while you're talking. I'm just going to look up Simon's car.
Okay. So Ali, when we first got together, she had a Toyota MR2 T-top with a pop-up headlights, and we've been down a gig in St Albans, and I don't think I was playing. We might have gone to see someone because we were in her car and she was driving, and we were off our tits on E's. we were coming back down the M10, and the M10 had that absolutely, it's like a dual
Where is the
carriageway.
M10? Remind me where the M10 is.
Near St Albans, so it came from St Albans.
St Albans, okay, right.
Through the M1, around about Junction 8, somewhere, Junction 7, something like that. It was a 2-lane. It was technically a motorway, but it was just a 2-lane road, and it had no lights. It had no lights. And for some reason,
this is the Woodlander's first car, by the way, the big bag Woodlander.
Ali turned the headlights off when we were driving down the M10 at about 80 miles an hour. Turn them off. Turn the headlights off, and there's no street lights on that.
Nothing.
And she had no idea what she'd done or why she didn't do it. She didn't do it deliberately. And
did she just take her hands off the wheel and go?
Yeah, almost. Yeah, almost. And I'm in the passenger seat, and I've got no idea, sitting from there, also off my tits on knees, how to turn the lights back on. And it was just, it must seem like a lifetime. We were hurtling down this dual carriageway, having no idea where we were going there until, and she didn't mean to turn them off. She had no idea. She just turned them off. The lights popped down, and that was it. And we're going down the road. She didn't do it for a crack.
No.
You
should have gone roads where we're going. We don't need roads.
We don't need roads. But we don't need to be alive where we're going.
I tell you what, right? We used to do this thing once a month, right? And it was the weekender of all weekenders. This is before I was DJing out at weekends, so I was about 18, 19, right? I was just playing a few gigs around my local town at the time. So we'd go down to Slinky in Bournemouth, right, on a Friday evening, and my mate's jam jar, an old Fiesta, right? And then that kicked out at 3 o'clock, and we try and get a couple of hours of fucking shut-eye in the car like that before we all like fucking munched a couple more beans, had a fucking quick livener, a few more beers apart from the driver, and then we drive up to Sheffield from Bournemouth, right, to go to Gatecrasher on the Saturday night. So we're all there like the walking fucking, you know, you ever seen the club when it kicks out in the summer and it's like, Walking Dead.
I've been there, mate.
Yeah, right. So we're in Sheffield and we go to Gatecrasher. That kicks on at 6 in the morning. 6 in the morning, Nocturnals opens up at the Centre for Music. So then we go 6 in the morning till midday at Knockies, Ard House, and then we go to a pub called the Howard. At that point, the ketamine had come out, and everyone was just fucking fried at this point. Right? And we were coming back once from Sheffield, and we pulled into a service station, and my mate went into a fucking service station. You know, they have the sunglasses on the racks, or like that.
Yeah.
Off his tits, he's just put about 3 pairs of sunglasses on his head like that, and just walked straight out the door. The police were there, weren't they? Fucking lifted him. So we're all sat there outside a police station in fucking Sheffield. What? You know, these are stories. You know, like when you tell these stories back, right? And you cringe. Oh God, at the time it was brilliant, but now it's like, oh my fucking God, is that really me? I've also had it before coming back up the M3 from a night in Bournemouth, right? And I'm sat in the back seat in the middle, and I've got a beer that's spilling on me because I'm just sort of like half in and half out, right? And all of a sudden I go, yeah, this is the tune, turn it up. This is the one. What's the name of this tune? And my mate's driving, looked at me and he's gone, mate, look, he had his stereo nicked the week before. There's nothing. There's no music playing.
It's just the sound of the road.
Hey, mate, I've seen a white horse go past me on the motorway. A white horse galloped past me on the motorway.
It might not have actually happened.
No, it definitely didn't happen, but I saw it.
Yeah. There you go. If it'd been now, you could have taken a photograph of it and in the morning go, oh, but I saw it.
Yeah, I saw it.
It just couldn't be photographed. Wow.
Now, I don't regret those days. I don't think many people do have regret those days.
I can't remember those times where whether I was travelling back from a gig or whether I was partaking myself, in some kind of night out. where you would come across other travellers of the night at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, going back to wherever they're coming from.
In exactly the same situation as you.
Exactly the same situation.
And they were your friends at that point. You were going to be friends for life.
Yeah, and it just exactly. And
hey,
everyone was on the same
we're going to be
vibe.
the king and queen of Clubland.
It was, it was cool days, and it was more sort of innocent, nicer times, you know, that sort of 90s, late 80s to right up to about 2000, I think.
Well, the thing is, right, so you've got a few years on me, right? So I didn't go to my first proper I went to a few under 18 raves in Milton Keynes, get the coach up, no drink, no drugs, fucking there till 2 a.m. Big beats, little beats. But it had the same DJs, but obviously, you know, it was an under 18s rave, right? Yeah. And the first one I went to was in 1996 when I was 15. I was always tall and a bit fucking wiry and started to grow a little bit of fucking sparse hair and that. So, and the bouncers really didn't give a fuck either, as long as you had a ticket, to be fair. And that was a helter skelter. That was an all-nighter. That started at 9 in the evening and went on till 7 in the morning. 10 hours.
Wow.
There's nothing like that anymore in England. In the UK, nothing.
No. You know, I've never ever been to a rave or played at one.
You've never been?
No, I've never been.
Wow.
And we're talking about this when that sort of that whole scene come about when I was talking with Dangerfield, you know, 2 or 3 years ago, and he said, "Oh, I said, yeah, you got to understand that whole scene bypassed me."
Because you would, I get that, because I've got mates now. Well, no, you for example, but I've got mates now that just went down were completely alternative. They were into bands and
but it wasn't just
raves were for dick. Like they thought raves were for dickhead, and we thought rocking out for bands were for dickheads. You know,
Well, I didn't really have an opinion on it. See, I was hardly here at that time. I was either touring around somewhere.
Hello, John Palmer, my love boy, lover boy. I've got a hat for you, John. I'm going to wear it when we stream together.
Enjoyed your contribution from last night's stream, mate, John Palmer. Top man, very sailor boy.
He's my sailor boy. Yeah. He's the reason I wanted to join the Navy, John Palmer.
Was it?
Yeah, well, he told me I could sail the 7 seas.
That's the thing. I was like I was gigging 4 nights a week all over in the UK, or touring around in Europe or wherever, Scandinavia, wherever. So when that whole rave scene happened, I kind of knew it was going on, but just didn't ever cross paths with it. Apart from the people that were coming back from raves when I was coming back from gigs, and we're in a similar state of mind because we were doing at gigs what people were doing at raves.
Yeah,
and
it's so weird for me to think that whilst I was raving in like 96, 98 was a big year. Like I was 17, like, you know, fucking cock of the walk, like, you know, in my Adidas 3 stripes, you fucking high vis jacket, in my white gloves. Yeah. It's so hard for me to think that you rockers were on the same buzz.
Yeah. You know? Exactly. You know, people were just they're doing whatever, and it was different times, and it was better times. You know, there's a lot of degeneracy around at the time.
At least like now it's the gayest of times and the fakest of times. At least we had a culture. There's no rave culture now. There's no real rock culture.
No, it's not. It's dead and dead as fuck. And
there's no nightlife. COVID fucking killed that. And as the Woodlander said on the stream a couple of weeks back, you know, not only did they try and kill the pensioners, they tried to kill all fucking walks of nightlife.
Yeah,
it was already dying, you know, because of the overpriced drinks and shit.
Just round here, I sort of live quite near the country, but it's just decaying, closed down country pubs, you know, everywhere.
It's sad.
It's desperate. Even my local pub, which does a great pint of Abbott, by the way, and has done for years.
We're not sponsored by them, but Abbott, if you're listening, we're interested.
I might have mentioned them 2 or 3 times.
You're on a little bit of a side hustle, you motherfucker, aren't you?
Abbott Ale, Green King, and Barefoot Merlot.
Merlot. Your halal fucking Merlot.
I'm on the Merlot kebabs, isn't it?
Yeah, Rags makes a good point there. Rags you can't have clubs and bars when we live in an Islamic state.
No, and it's almost as if it's been put into place a society, an environment that's ushering in the replacement people. That's just that's how it feels. That's how it feels.
Toffee, I have to ask you a question. Are you too young to have gone to Keene? I never went to Keene, but I knew it was I used to have the Keene CDs. Sorry to keep saying it sounds a bit racist, but yeah, Cream. I went to a festival, Creamfields, because they had that down in Winchester before it became Homelands. These were those day festivals, Al, where you didn't go for the weekend and ended up fucking on the 3rd night pulling a girl with what we used to call festival minge. You still went there. These were like from midday till 6 the following morning, so like 18 hours, and there would be like a big drum and bass tent, there'd be a house tent, a techno tent, a trance tent, a progressive tent, a breaks tent, Did you ever go Ministry of Sound then? Never went to Ministry of Sound?
I think like Ministry of Sound. I did.
Well, you never went to Home.
I went to Fabric.
Fabric's a fucking great. I used to love Fabric. I used to go to the Ganja Records, the players, 2 players nights, the jungle nights.
There was a well-known sort of band at the time that they were playing. I didn't go to see them. I just went with friends who were really into that scene. Obviously, we went in there with a fucking B-low. It was a great night. I don't remember much about it. It was a great night.
Wolfie. Wolfie, do you remember Groove Rider's intro he used to play? D D D D J J J J Groove ride dub play biz business this. See if he remembers that. Now I think I got it right in the right order.
Was it who were Groove Rider?
Groove Rider.
Was that a band?
No, Groove Rider was a DJ.
It was a DJ, okay.
Used to have Groove Rider and Fabio. They were the first drum and bass / jungle DJs on Radio 1.
Well, there was a band, I can never remember what they're called. They had a black guy singing, but the stage was just pitch black at Fabric. I will remember them. They had a massive hit at the time. They weren't a pop band or anything like that. You're not talking about Prodigy or anyone like that, no? No. It's a black guy. They had a black guy singer.
Well, dance music.
Yeah.
Not Sil, not Adamski.
No. I know them. No.
No, wet wipes weren't a thing, Kate. Wet wipes weren't a thing. You were lucky to get a bit of sodden fucking toilet roll rolled up in the flat. Festival minge.
The trouble with those, I've done so many festival gigs, man, and it doesn't matter who you are, who's playing what. Right, you all have to suffer the porta potties. Right, everybody.
No. Unless you think ahead and take a mega dose of Imodium. But then the pill poo, we all know about the pill poo.
Yeah, exactly. There was no avoiding it, even
the coming up poo.
Yeah.
It either see, this is what I found out. It either manifests itself in 2 ways, the coming up, right? If it was just a bog standard E, you'd need a poo. If it was a really good, like from a fucking Dutch pig farm E, you'd get that froth. but just appeared from nowhere. You'd just be and you just do it down your side. Pure white froth.
You feel like 100 times better, don't you? Oh.
Those fucking shivers went from the back of your heels all the way to the fucking top of your head. You're like, I think I'm raving.
Good times, man. Good times. Porta potties. Yeah, but Billy, right? Because it doesn't matter whether you were the fucking headline band or the first band on at these festivals, and whether the porta potty, sorry, I'm saying now, whether they're around the back in exclusive area, it doesn't matter. Everybody had to suffer the porta potties, you know.
Do you know what? Right, when you used to pull up like at Homelands or something like that, right, and the cars, you'd have the marshals putting all the cars in a row, right? You'd often see a group of men in a circle. Think, what are they doing? And they were shielding a woman having a piss in the middle of a field.
Right.
And do you know what we used to do? We used to think we were really clever. Right, if anyone fucking buckles, if anyone Captain buckles and needs to fucking leave early because they're having a fucking bit of a fucking mad one, right? We're gonna put a Budweiser box on the aerial of our car, so you know where to go back to. Everyone has that fucking idea. We came back once, right? We came back once to find my mate Jabo, right? Who'd lost everything but his mind, and he'd almost lost that too, right? He lost his keys, his fucking phone, his wallet, everything, and he's like this, just walking around. Oh, what the fuck? He goes, I come out about 6 hours ago. He goes, look, and he showed us his arm, and it was black up to the elbow because my mate John Joe put a spare key in it, just in the exhaust pipe.
Oh no!
He went around about 100 cars thinking it was the fucking. Oh man! I could talk for fucking hours with the flowers.
Yeah, we better call it a day and that's in fact.
Do you want to round this up to a nice sweet 2 hours? Just go for 15 more.
Are you if I take 2 minutes to have a quick puff?
You go for it, my boy.
I'll be straight back.
No worries, buddy. Ah, yeah, fucking hell. Jesus Christ. I could write books, folders. One day I'll get my fucking I'll see if I can find it quickly. 2 seconds, people. I was fucking empty. I can't find it. I can't find it at the moment, but I've got folders of me clubbing and DJing and stuff, and but I will show you a photo of me as a baby, look, with my little brother, just to prove that I've always worn a fucking flat cap. I'm not new to the game. This isn't my first rodeo. Look at my big little brother's big fat face. He don't look like that no more. Not since the Royal Navy put him for a beasting.
Which one's which?
I was just trying to find a folder that's got a load of me clubbing and stuff like that. Fucking Slinky and that. Me really skinny and gaunt like a fucking... Yeah. I sometimes I think back to those days. Sometimes I lie down, stick a candle on, and I'll put like an old track list on for like, and it'll be like, I've got so many different track lists on Spotify, and it'll be like 90, it'll be really specific, like 1996 Happy Hardcore, and it's all the full 12-inch cuts, so you get all the DJ, you get. So what people, a lot of people don't understand. John Palmer will know exactly what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
When you get a 12-inch record, like an old jungle cut or a hardcore cut, it was made to DJ with, so you get a lot of beats. And
well, exactly. 12 inches were.
Just the kick drum and the hi-hat, kick drum, hi-hat, snare, kick drum, clap, hi-hat, snare, until you get the bass line, and then you switch the bass lines out from one to the other, you know, like. And yes, I'm a captain. Or Billy, I'd like you to call me El Presidente, actually. El Presidente. And so records were made for DJs, right? The name comes DJ friendly. Is that a DJ friendly record? It either is or it isn't, because John Palmer will know about this. Did you ever hear of the sort of subgenre of drum and bass that was called intelligent hardcore, like LTJ Bookham and that? Now, a lot of the intro started with strings, okay? And you really had to know your fucking music to mix with strings, with no hi-hat or ride cymbal to guide you.
Try and get the same key.
It's not even key mixing. That came a lot later. That came digitally. Don't worry about key mixing. No DJ playing off 1210s worried about key mixing. DJ friendly records, no, amateurs. Yeah, well, you wouldn't have learned without them, Johnny boy. So I remember the first time I put my first two records together, and I was like, oh my God, I found the DJ glue. I can seamlessly mix two records together. I've stuck them together with the finest DJ glue known to man.
It's funny. I was listening to you chatting with Mousecat and JP this afternoon from last night, and you were talking about in great detail like the different types of. To me, it was to me it's all kind of like EDM for me. Going from drum and bass and going back before that and up to grime and everything like that.
Fuck grime. I've never been into grime, mate.
No, right, exactly. And you were talking about the years that started. Oh yeah, that was 94. Then it was it. I was thinking, I was thinking it made me feel a bit old in a way. And I was thinking, but I've got the excuse, like I said, I wasn't really around.
Yeah.
Boy, it was going on. I was familiar with these terms, but I couldn't believe, and all pretty much agreed on the dates that turned into that and that turned into that. And I think I wouldn't be able to fucking tell the difference. I wouldn't know. I know what drum and bass sounds like. I know what garage sounds like. I know what trance sounds like. And that's a completely different thing. Again, you sort of didn't mention that. But it was like it was obviously all you guys, or especially you and John, were so immersed in that scene that you knew all the nuances of all the differences of it. Yeah. And that was a complete eye opener to me, and I suppose in a way that I could sort of,
What I love about music is, right, you take a genre and you can put it into reverse, and you can take it back to what influenced that, and a hell of a lot of it always ends up at the blues.
Yes, right. Yeah, that's Mousecat was saying that, wasn't he? It always goes back to the soul and Motown.
Further back than that, mate. I'm talking Robert Johnson, Devil at the Crossroads.
Probably, yeah.
I said that like Jonathan Ross. Devil at the Crossroads.
Yeah. No, you can. There's that.
But then when you get into the more nuanced stuff, right? It's so like you get so there's genres, and then you get subgenres, right? So you say like you might have house music all night long. Say what? House music all night long. Say what? The Jungle Brothers, right? But then you've got acid house, you've got funky house, you've got hard house, you've got ambient house. There's just and then from then you get subgenres out of subgenres. It's so nuanced, dance music specifically. Right. But I guess the same is for
right.
for any type of music. Like you get, you said rockabilly, then you got psychobilly, right? And
yeah. But hang on, I've got a question for you. So I noticed a real big difference in the music that the DJs were playing, the clubs that I was playing in, after we finished playing. So we're playing some big clubs in London, not lots of mainly sort of Irish type clubs. I'm not talking about house music clubs or dance clubs, but the DJs would be playing a lot of this. To me, I'll just describe it as an overall EDM, electronic dance music. And I remember.
No. I have to stop you there.
That's right.
That's a new name for it.
That's a what name?
EDM is a new name for it.
Yeah, but it's an umbrella term. Right.
It wasn't,
so
though.
Music production. No, it wasn't, but it is now. If you do music production, electronic dance music encompasses a lot of things, which gives an umbrella that makes a definition between anything that's played live music. So I know you wouldn't have recognised that term back in '98 because that term didn't exist back then. But now, in production,
fuck you, Looney.
Yeah, that's it. Looney's a rock and roll singer as well, and he knows his shit there. But the question I was going to ask you is, well, I really noticed the difference what DJs are playing, and if you can tell me what you would describe these bands, and I know they are mainstream, but Chemical Brothers and Basement Jacks.
Right. Okay. So,
how would you describe them?
Okay.
Because
right.
they started entering my consciousness.
So, Chemical Brothers probably would. Both of those bands, as you say, or groups, right, were quite genre defined, like Groove Armada as well. Yeah. They crossed.
Groove Armada was the band I saw at Fabric. It was
Groove Armada. Jumping with a mix styling. Sound of the Groove Armada, we're super styling. That tune, yeah? Yeah. Well, they were genre defined. They crossed the different boundaries, right? Star Guitar's a great track. Do you remember the Chemical Brothers track they did with Noel Gallagher? How does it feel like to let forever be? Sounds very Beatles. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, it's fucking. So you couldn't really put them in. You couldn't really say, oh, Groove Armada are house music. Chemical Brothers are breakbeat. Now, Chemical Brothers did come from definitely a big beat. Do you remember the big beat phenomena? Fatboy Slim.
Yeah.
And all that. No, they definitely come from one of their first big tracks was Back When the Love Waters Black Rockin' Beat.
Yeah.
You know, and then Fatboy Slim, obviously, he was the bass player in the House Martins. Everyone and every man joined the caravan of love, and then he became. He did. Do you remember Freak Power? Boom, 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 boom. So that was him. He was also Pizza Man, Tripping on Sunshine, shine, 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 shine. If you remember Tripping on Sunshine.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, he said so many different names. Mighty Dub Cats. Haring ting ting ting. Haring ting ting. Dun 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 dun. So he was the Mighty Dub Cats as well, and then Fatboy Slim. He really, and his first album was called Better Off Living Through Chemistry, and that's when you had Everybody Loves a 303, which was a fantastic track, and give the poor man a break. And then obviously he had I'm Number One, So Why Try Harder, which had Gangster Tripping. You gotta get that gangster tripping.
What's his gang?
Remember that one?
What was the skank?
Rockefeller Skank.
Rockefeller Skank, yeah. Yeah, that was a great tune. That was a great tune.
Yeah.
So what
genre? All samples. He's amazing at sampling.
Oh yeah. And that's why I've never turned my back on it. I never poo-pooed it, and that's why I've used samples in my own productions and never, not for a second, would apologise for it, because art is art, and it's how you put it together. There's nothing wrong with using samples. Nothing. Yeah. I just wonder what, but I will be.
Blogs is talking about Flat Eric. That was by Mr. Wazzo, a French techno DJ. Remember that? It was another Levi's advert, wasn't it? With a Muppet.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Mr. Wazzo did a fantastic remix of what was the band? They ended up being really fucking woke, and they weren't Rage Against the Machine. Fuck
Oh
you,
yeah,
I'll
yeah.
do what you tell me.
Basically,
He did a fucking. They did a great. He did a great remix of that.
I'm gonna,
Billy Blogs, check Mr. Wazzo, spelled OIZO out.
I'm gonna have to,
The Rage Against the Machine remix.
I'm gonna have to admit something here to everybody.
Well,
I must have played "Killing in the Name of" by Rage Against the Machine about 500 times.
Killing in the Name of. It's a great tune, man.
A great tune, but let's face it, listen to the lyrics and it's just fucking it's awful. But there you go. You know, it used to get the Rage Against the Machine of comments. You're right, Rage.
Yeah.
We didn't realise
that. Make everyone get the fucking jab before they come to their concert.
Really cool. Yeah, all we cared about was having a mosh, the biggest mosh pit you could have in front of you while that tune kicks off, man. And Billy, again from Clan of Celts, we used to do that in Evil Puppies, basically the same lineup as Clan of Celts covers band. Billy used to fucking rip that song up, man. He used to rip it up. You have 7,000-8,000 people in front of him. He'd have that fucking place jumping. It was incredible. It just never got sick of playing that, man. It just and it was like later on then you realise what it was about. And just, there you go. But another part of your history fucking ripped out of you.
Yeah, well, fucking Dave Grohl.
Dave Grohl, yeah. Dave Grohl, arsehole.
Yeah. Have you seen the video where is it Taylor or Travis? Who's the drummer? Taylor? Yeah. Taylor Hawkins. You seen it when he's young boy? It's on the drums.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. It's phenomenal. Yeah, phenomenal.
Jesus Christ, can that boy hit them fucking?
I mean, who knows the truth of what really happened there? But there you go. Guess we'll never know. Well, look, I'll tell you what. After listening to you and JP talking there, I'm definitely I'm going to have to listen in on your history of hardcore.
Yeah, I was seeing if he wanted to come on for a chat tonight because I'm feeling chatty. I've had a few fucking. I know. Well, if anyone, I'll offer it out one more time, and I'll get the fucking hint if no one wants to jump on. I'll put the link in again because I know you've got shit to do.
Yeah.
I'll give me 5 minutes, and if no one jumps in now, I'll say goodnight to everyone. But after a few specky brews, you're feeling chatty. You got your captain's hat on.
No, I know, absolutely.
But so this channel, to anyone who's listening, this is going to be a little bit of more of a relief channel. Me and Rags are still going to do our Sunday night show.
You're not splitting up, are you? Please.
We're not splitting up. No. We're tighter than a Gordian knot, boy. Don't worry about that. Hey, look, Abdul's in. Right, I'm going to let Johnny on in. Hello, Johnny boy. You want to say hello to our Mac before he goes?
Good evening, sir.
Hello, mate.
Sir. I do believe you are now at World War II, sir.
World War II? World War V? Sure.
You will be safe under your Papadome.
At least you're not ripping the piss out of me for me chili sauce like fucking Jack London.
Oh, I did get you earlier, didn't I? I've got the nice chili sauce for you, what?
Chili sauce. Oh, that's good. Yeah, you
right. There you go.
That's what he sent me. That was what was on his BBQ earlier.
Lovely.
Look at that meat. Look at that lovely. Look at that haram meat.
Lovely.
Hello, go straight with a
lovely.
I'm going to do a couple of weeks, as long as StreamYard lets me. I'm going to do a couple of streams on a week, awesome. Like, mate. So I'll get you back in a couple of weeks, and I'll send you this list. I'll get a photo of this list. Look, I have written a list just to prove. I started off in red, and then I realised that looked too sexy, so I finished off in blue, right? So I'll send you that list.
It was a last minute thing. You called me this afternoon and said, "Do you want to come on?" I said, "Yeah, let's do it. Be great crack." JP, loved it last night, mate. I really want to. I'm going to watch your channel when you're talking about enlightening me about music genres and a
Jump
whole
on my hardcore.
hardcore boys.
I love you, Al.
We all love Al. He's a fucking dude, isn't he? Thank you for giving me 2 hours of your life. I'll say that to anyone who comes on and chats bullshit with me.
No worries. Everyone in the chat, be brilliant, man. Just lovely stuff.
Yeah, this channel, we'll grow this channel. It's literally just starting. I think I've got 52 fucking subscribers, so I've got 1/5 of my fucking subscribers in, which ain't bad if you take it on a pro rata basis.
I subscribe.
I'll tell you some secrets later. I had to do it because I tried it on mine and mine just boomed up.
Okay, all right. You tell me some secrets. Al, thank you so much for coming on, my friend. I'll see you in a couple of weeks, and no doubt I'll text you tomorrow.
See you later, mate. See you later, JP.
See you later, Al.
Cheers, chat.
How's yours, Buddy, been? Abu Ashraf Ding Ding Ting?
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
Couldn't be more fucking Essex if you tried then, could you? All right.
All right. I ain't got a lot of energy today.
Do you know how much a Cockney pays for his shampoo?
No.
£10.
£10.
Laugh then, you fucker. So yeah, like there you go. So there's a Al Mac sells cheap backy too. Brilliant. So Al Mac there, he listened back to our stream last night, John, and he was saying like he didn't really understand the you heard what he was saying, right? The nuances that sort of dance music went through, you know, like and like I said, everything's like a subgenre and a subgenre and a subgenre.
It changed every week, didn't it? Every week it changed. Yeah.
Whenever there was a new software update and there was new synths available,
well, and even that, someone just had a new idea. Someone made a new tune with a new idea, slipped it to the DJ, and that was everyone was making it like that then.
Yeah. Well, that was
every week. It was music. Music then was.
Did you ever go to a cutting house?
A cucking house?
No, I know you've been to plenty of them. A cutting house with a T.
Oh no! What, for the old black crack?
No, yeah, for the dub plates.
For the black crack, yes.
So everyone would be there on a Friday, right? I managed to blag a trip up to the JTS cutting house. Now, do you remember when you get your vinyls, right? And on the runoff, you'd have all the fucking inscriptions, and you'd have funny little things written.
Yeah.
A lot of them had JTS written on it because that was the cutting house.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay, so I went to JTS once with a DJ from Basingstoke, a guy called Physics, who was getting a dub plate cut that weekend, a jungle track.
Never heard of him.
Really. Shit track, really. Yeah, he DJed with the Prodigy a couple of times. But what an experience, because all the boys were there getting their fucking plates cut for the weekend. You know, it was hardcore boys and jungle boys, and believe it or not, they all got on, even though they were doing different things and that. You know?
I'm sure they did, yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, but it was, you know, being a 17-year-old lad and like getting a drive up to London, and we're going to the cutting house, and then seeing a dub plate being cut with a really thin sheet of metal through it and the 2 holes, one off center, one in the center. I still don't understand why that happened. Have you got dub plates?
No, I've got. I ain't got any dubs.
Have you ever had dubs?
I ain't got dubs. I've got test presses.
Test press, yeah, yeah. You know the record shop trick though, don't you? Test press, 5 only. Fucking bumped up by a quid, mate.
I've got them directly off the artist though.
Oh, right, fair enough. Yeah, test press, promos, white labels. There are all fucking ways to sell records, man. But I remember being that 16, 17, 18-year-old lad and thinking I was the cock of the walk because I did have a test press and you ain't getting this for a month. You know what I mean? I remember having the promo of Tim Deluxe. Do you remember that house track probably came out in 1999, 2000. It just won't do.
I remember in 1991, I got a record down the record shop, and it had on the label DJ promo only, and I thought
promo only,
and then years later, I found out that every single one of them,
every single fucking. Listen, John, can you give me 1 minute, mate, while I just drain this vein? I'll be 1 minute, all right?
God, dear. Where's he gone? To the toilet? Oh well. Yes, Billy, the cucking house. I didn't know you was into dubstep, Wolfie. That was a bit of a black thing, wasn't it? Dubstep, black thing, and a middle class thing. I never got into dubstep. Too slow and stupid. I went to a rave once, and there was a dubstep room in there. Like, this was after I'd left the mob, and there was about 3 people in there, and they was all off their faces, like doing the sticky dance, like walking like they was stuck in glue. Not my thing, mate. It was like jungle, like half speed.
Right, I'm back, Apple. Right, listen, do you remember in 1996, I want to say, when DJ Zinc Ready or Not came out, and it was wrongly attributed to DJ Hype for many years?
Yeah.
And the legal battle that ensued after it, because not only did DJ Zinc use the Fugees, he also inadvertently used Enya, which is what the Fugees sampled.
Yeah.
You remember the legal battle that went on for years? Did you get a copy of that when it came out?
Yeah, I got a copy of it, white label of that. But
no one's got anything but a white label of it. It never got a.
From the end of 1996, I was gone, mate. I was well out of the scene.
Right. So did you say when you say you were at the scene? Was that you not DJing anymore, not raving? Just
I was at scene. Yeah. The only time I went to a rave. Yeah, the only time I went to a rave then was when I come home and I was on leave.
Fair enough. So you were really early 90s raving.
Yeah.
You were top buzz.
I was proper early 90s, yeah.
Yeah. So who were your favourite DJs? Like or
local, my local pirate DJs. I'll tell you, he was my hero. Splash, they called him. He started Splash Splash Records. Undercover Agent, DJ.
Oh, Undercover Agent and Undercover Agent and Secret Squirrel.
No.
Not, am I getting confused with Undercover Elephant? Bob
yeah,
Whopper.
you are. Yeah, you
Bob
are.
Whopper. Yeah, okay.
Undercover Babylon.
Splash
The
Babylon.
Tune,
Why does that fucking ring a bell? Babylon.
Well, whoa. Oh my God! How do you not know that tune?
Juice Records.
Know that tune? That's a jungle classic.
Yeah, Juice Records.
Yeah, it was played on the AWOL thing at Ministry.
Yeah, the AWOL what fucking pirate radio station adverts for the AWOL nights. Yeah.
What?
The pirate radio stations for the AWOL nights they put on Way of Life.
Yeah. But you know the mix, the CD that come out in 1995, right. AWOL live at the Ministry.
AWOL.
How have you not got that? Oh my!
How have I not got? Because I was jungle in '95. I was a fucking hardcore boy in '90. I was strictly hardcore. I remember the fuck. Oh no! Now I look at it. I had plenty of mates who did have it. Darren J, Randall, Kenny, Dr. S,
that's it.
Mickey Finn. Yeah. Mickey Finn. Raz Clark, Pussy Clark Finn.
That's it, yeah. That Babylon tune's on there.
Right.
And that was one of his...
and they were all back to back, weren't they?
Yeah, that was one of his biggest tunes.
Gotcha.
He was really, really big in the scene. He was there from the beginning. But I knew him from 1990.
Wow, fair play. All right, see if this plays quickly. See if this plays.
No, I'm an Essex boy. I didn't know anybody north of Chelmsford.
No, that's making it jitter. It starts off with the horns, doesn't it?
Yes, that's it. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Great CD.
That's it. Yeah. No, I'll listen to that later. I'll listen to that later, man. Or is it? I left you a voice note the other day, didn't I? What was that big track on Moving Shadow? Dread. What was it? Not Dreadhead.
Dread
Bass. Yeah. What the time you have the dread gone, man, when he walk back round the corner. Time stretching was just like everyone
like scratching that. Scratched it.
Everyone loved the time stretch in that fucking era, didn't they?
Yeah, yeah. That was the jungle sound, wasn't it? Time stretch and the
time stretch, yeah. And the snare and slow down. Yeah. Fuck me. Yeah, Jesus Christ. Did you ever produce it? Did you ever produce?
No, not till I just dabbled in it. I've got some tunes that are out.
Do you remember the track called Time Stretch by Ronnie Sives?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fucking tune as well, wasn't it? Those Bristol boys definitely had a sound of their own. And that's what I liked about it as well. It was regional, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. It was 100% English, but it was also regional, like London, Bristol,
Brighton.
Yeah, Brighton.
Yeah, well, I know that's your favourite place in the world to go to.
Yeah.
Wearing one of these. You arseless chaps. Sour, Sounds of the Underground records. Remember that?
Yeah. That's Bookham's thing, isn't it?
No, I thought it was. Fuck me, he's still doing stuff today. He did that really big tune with the piano. No, that was LK by Marky. Who am I fucking thinking of? Sour. No. Who did you say originally? Who did you say originally then?
Who did I say?
I said Sour, you said someone.
Bookham.
No, it was Logical Progression, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's Bookham, wasn't it?
Was that Sounds of the Underground as well? I thought it was your man.
The Sound of the Underground. That was Chrome and Time.
No, that's the track Sound of the Underground. I'm talking about Sour Records, SOUR. And that was your guy fucking
I'll tell you.
He did that
That's Andy C.
No, it's not Andy C. He's the black guy. Fucking Shy FX. Weren't that his ting? With me, his ting. I fucking got back into Jungle Talk. I feel like it's 1996 again. That's his ting, man. Yeah, fucking hell. Yeah, but like you say,
there you go, look. Sour, originally called DJ Only Records. It's Sound of the Underground Records, formed in 1993 by the Trinity Crew.
Trinity Crew. That was nothing to do with because LTJ was Logical Progression, wasn't it? And you know what I was telling Al about earlier about DJ, and you were listening about DJ Friendly Records, yeah? Now, that intelligent stuff, like Horizons, yeah? Tracks like that, fuck me, where you just had strings for 2 minutes and no guidance whatsoever, no ride cymbal, no, just to give you that where you should be on the fucking +8 -8, like, you know, on the pitch.
What minus what?
The +8 -8.
I don't understand. I don't understand. I only go from +8 to +6.
You've got 2 pluses.
If it goes below +5, I don't play it.
No, I mean, I'm just saying you've got the option on a technical.
No option for me.
Oh, what you've just
everything's +8, mate.
There.
Everything's fast. Everything's on +8.
Everything's plus. Do you remember learning how to tweak your techniques to +16? Taking the platter off, doing the little mini screw.
No, I never had them.
You never had techniques?
No.
What did you have then?
I've got for the last 20 years, I've had Stanton straight 150s.
Do you know what? My first decks was Sound. You remember Sound Lab?
Yep.
I had Sound Lab DLP.
Geminis. I had Geminis.
Geminis.
Yeah.
You know, I had Sound Lab DLP1 belt drives, and then for my 18th birthday, my mum goes, if you can save half, I'll pay the other half. I think it was 1,200 quid for 2 1210s and a DJM 300 Pioneer mixer. It was the first time I had a mixer where you could cut out the baby, you could cut the ranges out. Before that, I had nothing. It was just a crossfader and volumes and trim.
My missus has got Technics. My missus has got Technics. She bought me. She bought me these. Like she said, we went down there. I can't remember what shop it was in London. Went there now, and it was a choice between Technics and these. And I've got I'm heavy-handed, and these are really good with heavy hand. Whereas the Technics, you've got to have really delicate.
You've got delicate girly hands, but it depends what needles you got, man. I had Concords. I had like these bright yellow Concords.
I've just got cheap ones on mine.
What, Stantons?
Cheap needles.
Well, they're Stantons. Stantons.
Yeah, cheap cotton. It's a straight arm. It's not a bent arm.
Oh no, I had the sort of the angled tone arm.
Yeah, for benders.
You know what? It still amazes me. It still amazes me to this day. I mean, I do understand the physics of it, vibration and everything, but it still amazes me to this day. You can put a piece of plastic, a piece of 12-inch round black plastic with grooves cut out of it onto a record player, put a tone on it with a needle, and somehow that makes your speakers vibrate and create music. Imagine going back 100 years before, like the gramophone, and showing something like that. It's
just magic. It's magic. Electricity. Yeah,
it's magic. Crazy. It's crazy.
Magic.
And you think of all those different sounds, the bass lines, the mid ranges, the synths, the fucking hi-hats, and it's just a groove cut into a bit of plastic.
I know.
You fucking yeah, it's fucking mental. So what have you been up to, John Palmer? How's your fucking pussycats? Are they still fighting?
They love each other. Just
what's their names again?
Bonnie and little one's called Bess, Black Bonnie Bess.
Oh yeah. Going with your old Dick Turpin. Was John Palmer a name related to that?
Yeah, because Black Bess was John Palmer, aka Dick Turpin's horse.
Right, okay.
So I always put my horse was fast.
My horse, yeah, that's your little thing, isn't it, on your thingy?
Yeah.
So, what got you into Dick Turpin? Is it something you've been into for a long time, or is it since you've been into sort of more nationalistic?
No, I made an account once with a Dick Turpin picture, and it's just
went from there,
yeah. I think it was the first after my first account got banned, which is how I was getting doxxed because I was using my normal DJing account.
Yeah, well, that's how I met you, wasn't it? And you were like, stop calling me that.
Yeah, yeah, that's it.
Fuck me, that's 5+ years.
I thought nobody would be able to touch me, and of course they'd have left. So
they've got ways.
They don't just it's not easy. Anyone could by using that. You only had to Google it, but they went after my missus and everything. Tried to take down the website, track me down.
You have anyone?
This was before I was going hard in on anything. I was just saying things and to blacks and things, and it wound them right up. So
yeah, well, they've got a certain
account
got
got suspended forever, and made one called John Palmer.
Do you know my Twitter account that I've got at the moment? Yeah, is the original one, right? When I got yeeted, yeah, and it was to do with that fucking Ambrosine shitrat or whatever her name is, yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, oh god, yeah. On anti-Semitism got me, right? And when Elon took over, for every couple of months, I'd go on to when it was Twitter, and I'd appeal it, and I'd get a message back going, "Go fuck yourself," basically, yeah.
Yeah.
And then the first time I appealed it, when Elon took over, they were like, "Welcome back, have fun."
Fucking hell.
And I've kept it ever since.
On your account, never ever. Then never get that back. I appealed it.
No, I mean, you were telling me for about 2 years, going, get Sims, get fucking burner Sims.
Yeah, yeah.
Can't be fucking ass just to call someone a cunt.
Yeah. I made it my mission in life just to call people.
I know you did. So. I know you did. And to be fair, you carried it out well to this day.
I love them all, really, but they're cunts.
Yeah. So what was your local record shop then?
Same one as DJ Vibes.
Oh, Essex Boy Vibes. Old Shaney. I partied with him. He ended up back at my fucking house once.
I lived almost opposite it.
Okay.
So I used to go and I used to spend all day Saturday in there just watching all the pirate radio DJs coming in and.
Yeah, that's exactly how I learned. I was watching them. That's how I learned to mix. I was watching what they were doing when they were letting the record go, you know?
Yeah, it was just a front of his house. It turned it into a record shop, and it was just records stacked up all over the floor and all over the wall. Lovely place
That's how record shop should be, though. There shouldn't be any order in the record shop.
It wasn't just hardcore in that, though. It was he was a he was into like soul and stuff like that.
Groove.
Yeah, he was into all that. So you had an older clientele going in for that, and he used to DJ that. But then there'd be all the younger ones in there going in for
Northern Soul.
Hey?
Northern Soul, all that stuff.
Yeah, all that.
I mean, they were the first ravers, right? Well, I suppose rock and roll heads were. But like over in England, especially Northern Soul, used to go. Was it Wigan Casino? Wasn't it? They used to go out and have all nighters.
It's funny you say that. I've just watched a documentary about that. About the Northern
Soul.
Yeah.
Well, they used to take the old Dexedrine, right? The old fucking blueies.
That's it.
And they fucking just dance all night.
They do like kung fu and all that kind of thing on the dance floor.
Bit of talcum powder down on the floor so you could slide better.
Yeah. The documentary weren't that good because it went from that, then it went into fucking and then they were punks. Just fuck off. It spent about it's an hour-long documentary. It spent about 3 minutes on Acid House. Didn't even mention hardcore or jungle or.
Yeah.
So it finished off with fucking strictly come dancing.
A BBC thing, was it?
Must have been.
Have there ever been any legitimate documentaries about the rave scene?
I've seen a couple, but they miss so much out.
Yeah.
And they gloss over bits and they miss bits out, and they've all been independent, like not television, like YouTube. You know what I mean?
Do you ever remember? I read a book once It was by a black guy, but it was a promoter for the illegal warehouse raves in London.
What, Wayne Anthony?
Wayne Anthony. Have you read that
Yeah,
book?
I know him. Yeah, my missus knows him.
Fucking great book. Do you remember when he said he'd done a load of acid and they did a skydive?
Yeah, I bought that book in
Class of '88.
It came out in 1997. It was the first book I ever read.
Class of '88. It was called.
That's it. Yeah, and it's come out. New printing of it now. There's a white bloke on the front for the American audiences.
Oh, right, okay. And they used to say how they used to get Sparkies to wire up the warehouse to a lamppost.
That's it,
To a lamppost just outside, and they power the whole fucking night off lampposts.
Yeah.
And they used to have all fake documents from the fire and all stuff like that.
Yeah, just to blag them, yeah.
Yeah, the police would come and say, "What's going on? Hello, what's going on here then? Oh, we're having a bit of a party in here. Yeah, look, there's all our documents, and they're all fake and fucking powered from a lamppost."
Yeah,
there's so much of that footage of those warehouse raves on YouTube, and it's just a sea of fucking mainly white.
Yeah, I've got some. You've probably seen them. I've got some really clean film footage of it.
And everyone's like this, just fucking gurning. Right, listen, I'm going to get going anyway, John. Thanks for jumping on for half hour with me. I will be in touch, and me and you will get this fucking show on the road where we will get some sort of structure to this and tell a history rather than just jumping in and out of shit. All right?
Yeah. And remind me on Telegram about telling you the.
Yeah, well, I've also got to remind you.
Just remind me about the algorithm.
At some point next week that you're on with me and Rags on the algorithm as well.
Yeah, remind me about the algorithm thing, because that will really help both of you on Rags's one as well. Push the dreams out.
Right, well, I appreciate everyone who's come into my little channel tonight and had a chat and had a laugh.
But I'm off ski. See you later, mate.
Right. Yeah, take care, buddy. All my love.
See you later.
See ya. Right, thank you, people. Thank you for joining in. Good night, everyone. Thank you, Wolfie, Billy, Ams, Ugly Truth, Top Buzz, Groove Rider. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, appreciate it all. Toffee, Kiss IB for 99. Yeah, 99 was a good year for the trance. Al Mac, thank you for coming on for a couple of hours. Mouse Cat, cheers, buddy boy. Right, I'm going to go and see what the crack is in the other room. Friday tomorrow. Hope everyone has a fantastic weekend, and we will see you. I will see you on Rags's channel. Sunday at 7. No, Sunday at 9. We're starting at 9 this Sunday for anyone who's still listening. We've got Black Pigeon Peeled. Black Pigeon Peeled is doing a Jonathan Bowden exhibition thing. I think he's the main guy doing it this weekend. So he'll have plenty to tell you about Mr. Bowden and maybe a little bit of footage and stuff. So we will see you Sunday at 9 o'clock, and I'll see you on this channel at some point next week. All the very best. Good night. God bless.